is truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative hid the truth of mass suffering, injustice, and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hey there, Jordan Chariton.
And Jen Dies.
Status Quo on a Sunday, November 10th, 2019. And quite the special day. Jen being here in New York for working with me on a big story, which we'll get into in a little bit. A lot to discuss in the news. And frankly, I don't know about you, I've been a little busy working on this story.
Yeah, like
so some of this stuff that we're going to be discussing, I've only looked at once, and you haven't looked at.
I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Right.
Jordan said that's actually best.
Right. So it's a little bit better occasionally to be improvisational.
Yeah.
Improvisational. So it is. I would say, when you look at the polls, I don't necessarily trust all the polls, but let's say Iowa were held today. I don't think there's really one candidate that I would, with my gut, say this person's going to win. I think the polls have been all over the place, but to me, I think this guy is in it, judging by his events with Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez this past couple days in Iowa. I think he had 2,400 people in Council Bluffs. 2,400, not big if he's in New York City, but in Iowa, that was the largest crowd any candidate has had in Iowa. And him and Ocasio-Cortez have had over 2,000 people at multiple events in Iowa. And Bernie is now trying a strategy of focusing on the Green New Deal in Iowa, which we'll talk about. So there's the polling to discuss. There's Elizabeth Warren, who I think probably said one of the more honest things that she said in a while the other day. There is a socialist comeback in Seattle to talk about.
I'm very excited.
And there is MSNBC. Joy Reid. Joy Reid. Got to go after my friend Joy today. And many other things. So we'll have some fun, talk about what's going on behind the scenes. How you feeling?
Good. Actually, I'm super tired. I did not sleep last night. As you guys know, Jordan has trouble sleeping, so now I know how he feels because I'm so tired.
So is it interesting to you when you have trouble sleeping and then somebody you work with sends you 25 text messages?
What?
And then gets angry when you don't remember every detail?
Who would ever do that? I can't think of anyone.
Right.
No one.
And by the way, he might not be here, but always in our hearts, Colin Tulsi.
Colin.
With the fantastic graphic this morning. Player in the game. Thank you.
There's nothing that makes me happier than when Jordan sends Colin these ridiculous graphics requests, and actually members can see the behind the scenes of that, but he just sends these really funny descriptions to Colin, and Colin always comes through. Love it.
But before we get down to business, we need you to be our co-hosts. Smash the like button. We got almost 200 of you watching. 95 have pressed that like button. So we need over 100 of you to press the thumbs up button right under the video. I always get into the YouTube spiel. What are we up against when it comes to YouTube, and why we keep...
Oh my gosh.
We're not just telling you to like the stream. You got to share the stream, become a member, all those things. But has YouTube kind of, if they were already giving us a right hook, are they now giving us a left and a foot?
We are so throttled on our channel. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Our monetization is just non-existent. They immediately demonetize basically every other video. And then no one sees our stuff. Jordan actually sent an email to the customer or support thing, and they got back with, no, everything looks good, you're not being suppressed, and blah blah blah. But
yes, we're just growing. Ridiculous. We're just growing two new subscribers a day because apparently nobody likes our content anymore. So
just all of a sudden we were getting for a while there we were really growing fast, but now trickling in.
So we need you to press the like button. We'll get into membership in a little bit. Make sure follow us on Status Quo. We're live on Periscope right now, actually. Subscribe to our podcast. Just Google it, Status Quo Podcast. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a review. The podcast is just a live stream turned into audio, but we have interviews there as well.
Well, and that'll change eventually. We'll get.
And you are very big on email. Why should people go to sign up right now for the email list?
Yes. So go to statusquo.com and you'll see a place to sign up for the email list. And the reason to do that is because you'll get breaking news and, we update you on everything. We'll send some behind the scenes stuff sometimes, but we need you to sign up for the email so we can keep in touch with you, basically. Because as we said, YouTube is throttling us, Twitter is throttling us, Facebook is throttling us. So the email, you being on our email list, gives us a way to tell you what's going on.
Right. Always. So, and before I get to the first topic, I got to tell you something. For those of you that have seen Shawshank Redemption.
You're on a Shawshank kick lately. More than
the
usual.
Great Andy Dufresne said to his friend Red, sorry if I'm spoiling the end, when Red, well, I don't want to spoil it. Well, everybody's seen Shawshank. Yeah, when Andy Dufresne said to Red, when Red got out of Shawshank, you've come this far, maybe you're willing to go just a little bit further. We are now 2,400, is that right? $2,465 away.
Something about the audio that they sent.
I'll say anything. 2,000, what is that? $2,465 away from meeting our GoFundMe goal. $2,465 away from meeting our GoFundMe goal. Listen, folks, for those of you who have donated, for those of you who donated twice, 3 times, 10 times, there's been people who have donated 40 to 50 times. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We got a little more to go. After we complete this GoFundMe, it's not like Status Quo is, laying in mountains of cash.
No, and that's something we should make very clear is the majority of the money that we've raised has gone to travel, reporting in the field, equipment purchases. So it's not like we don't have $80,000.
If we had $82,000, it would be very, very helpful. This is what you're talking about. We've been all over the place. Like we said, we just purchased a new Live View product, which was about $10,000.
Which hurts my soul, but
yes,
we needed it.
But we needed it. And also money for advertising, social media, you name it. So thank you guys. And keep it coming. I mean, every dollar amount counts. We'd love to get today. I mean, listen, we'd love to finish the damn thing today, but smaller steps. So let's try and get to 83,000 this hour. I think we could do that within the hour and go from there. Jen is here, so I guess we'll be just while we're live.
Yeah, I'll just
dumping the links into the live chat too. Kathy, $20.
And Kathy, you used one of the new sticker super chats. I was actually just telling Jordan about this, that now you can leave a sticker super chat, which just gives you a cool sticker.
So YouTube is a censor, and YouTube is basically doing the work of corporate America, but they do allow stickers. So wonderful on
Love
YouTube's
the
end.
stickers.
Everything Revolution, $2. Bring Jen on more, please. Excellent news delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Everything Revolution. Love you.
And yes, this is a super chat too, so whatever floats your boat.
Leave lots of super chats and likes and GoFundMe's today because it'll make me happy. I'm
So
inspired.
we're going to get to Warren. I know she's the headline, but I think there's something more important. CNN's not going to cover it. New York Times not going to cover it. Washington Post not going to cover it. Very few people are going to cover it. But if you look at the 2020 election, underneath the 2020 election, other than Bernie Sanders, all of these candidates are not running themselves. They're running on behalf of corporate America. And one of the people they are running on, or for, is Jeff Bezos.
Ugh.
Jeff Bezos is Dr. Evil of the United Corporations of America. Jeff Bezos and Amazon, which I've been guilty of, Jen's been guilty of.
It's so bad. I'm crying too.
We're not against technology. We're not against companies doing well. We are against monopolies. We are against companies that refuse to pay any taxes. We are against companies that try and eliminate local politicians by flooding city council elections and trying to get them out, because those politicians, I'm talking about the socialist champion Shama Sawant in
Yes.
Seattle,
Love her.
had the temerity, had the brass knuckles to say to Jeff Bezos, you got to pay your taxes. You got to pay a little tax. Shama Sawant and the other progressives on the Seattle City Council had a very, just the gall to say, you know what? Amazon, because Seattle is becoming a homeless utopia, and not in a good way, because Seattle is basically becoming a new tale of two cities where rent has gone up 70% in 5 years. So because of that, Shama Sawant and some others on the Seattle City Council said, you know what? We're going to charge companies like Amazon and Boeing and Microsoft and other big multi-billion-dollar conglomerates in Seattle who enjoy Washington State, which does not have an income tax. They said, we're going to charge a head tax to Jeff Bezos and Amazon. And Jeff Bezos didn't like that, and he poured money in, and he got that head tax killed. And his next step was to pump in, do you know how much money he pumped into the Seattle City Council race?
It was over $1 million, right?
$1.5 million.
That's insane. A city council.
So pumps in $1.5 million to get rid of one politician, Shama Sawant. And, you know, I don't live in Seattle, but I could only imagine, you know, the ads with $1.5 million painting Shama Sawant as a communist, you know, anti-American, anti-business lunatic. And it looked effective on election night. Seattle and Washington State have vote by mail, so the results are not in on election night. It takes a few days to count the ballots because it's by mail. And on election night, Shama Sawant was losing by 8 points. So it looked like one of the progressive heroes, who I view as just as progressive as, let's say, somebody with more national name recognition, Nina Turner. But obviously she's on a city council, so she's not talked about nationally as much. But Shama Sawant's the real deal. I mean, she's talking universal rent control. She's talking going further than the Green Deal. She was the first one saying workers should be on all these boards. And as a result, Jeff Bezos tried to get rid of her. Well, results are not final. But Shama Sawant has taken the lead after being down by 8%. And it looks like Jeff Bezos just wasted $1.5 million. This from The Nation. Standing in front of a massive tax Amazon banner, Seattle City Council member Shama Sawant declared victory in a re-election race that pitted her against Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and the billionaire class. Quote, Looks like our movement has won and defended our socialist city council seat for working people against the richest man in the world, Sawant said Saturday. Oh, so I guess it is. I guess the results are final. The two-term council member, one of the most high-profile socialist and municipal leaders in the country, quoted abolitionist Frederick Douglass in front of a crowd of supporters who recognized the truth of the words. Quote, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and never will." What happened this fall in Seattle was a great struggle, one of several in cities where proudly radical contenders confronted not just rivals, but massive spending aimed at defeating them. Sawant won after a long count of mail-in ballots, as did San Francisco District Attorney candidate Chesa Bowden, a very progressive candidate, one of the boldest advocates for criminal justice reform yet to be elected in the national campaign to transform law enforcement. But it wasn't easy. Sawant was one of several Seattle City Council contenders who were demanding that Amazon and other big tech firms headquartered in Seattle pay their fair share of taxes. Their proposals unsettled Bezos and his fellow CEOs. Amazon steered $1.5 million into races for the city's district council seats, all 7 of which were up for election this year. This money helped fund a multi-million-dollar drive by business interests to elect a corporate-friendly council that would shy away from imposing taxes on corporations. Now, make no mistake about it. 1.5 million, Jeff Bezos, he ain't losing sleep over spending $1.5 million. That's money under his pillow for the tooth fairy. But he is losing sleep over Shama Sawant. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not about the money in the short term, right? Even if a re-elected Shama Sawant, and remember to press the like button. We got 300 people watching. 188 of you have pressed that like button. So we need 100 more. Press that like button. It really helps us get this live stream to more people. But even if Amazon was forced to pay a head tax of $250 an employee, which they view as tyranny, that's not even going to even put a dent in their bottom line. It's not about that money. It's about the billionaires, and I would group Tom Steyer in with this. I would group Michael Bloomberg in with this. I would view Joe Biden, who works for billionaires, in with this. Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, all these people. The billionaires don't want to give an inch because, like the NRA, I'm not saying they are terrorists like the NRA, but they are eco-terrorists, I would say. Like the NRA, their view, we give an inch, it's going to be a tsunami from there, and they're going to come in and seize everything. Am I being dramatic?
No, not at all. That's 100% agree.
So, basically, this 1.5 million, whatever, another day. I think Jeff Bezos makes more than 1.5 million in an hour.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I think he makes $64,000 every 10 seconds, last count. But it's a big victory because unless some of these newly elected or re-elected city council people buckle, which they did last time, Jeff Bezos is going to have to start paying some taxes. And that's a good thing. Because when we were in Seattle, in a lot of communities, the homeless population is kind of scattered into some areas, under a bridge maybe, or outside Penn Station if you live here in New York, or kind of not in nice neighborhoods. In Seattle, from what I saw, you have nice gentrified areas, new apartment complexes, and right outside you have tent cities with homeless people that look like Jen and I, that look pretty much middle class, whatever's left of the middle class, and are just normal working people.
Well, and actually one of the things that we learned from someone who actually, a man who was homeless, who was actually there in the middle of the day, is that a lot of...
Sorry, Jen.
What?
Sorry. I have to interrupt you. It's almost like this talk of economic populism and grassroots enthusiasm is igniting a movement. Deborah Hendler, $500 in the GoFundMe.
That's amazing,
Deborah, cash
you.
money rules everything. Thank you so much. That's an amazingly generous amount, Deborah. I'll once I'm off air, thank you individually. Vanessa, $20 also since we started.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Julio, $50 3 minutes ago.
Julio.
Julio.
Sorry if we mispronounced.
Sorry. Lawrence always bringing in $10. We are now less than 2 $2,000.
Yes.
Less than
so
$2,000. And I want to make a point. And once again, Deborah, thank you. I want to make an important point about this because I think it's important, particularly to people who might be watching Status Quo right now and might be interested in some form of partnership. We did this in 10 months, not a year. We started this in September of 2018, right? We were blocked from going live on YouTube for 3 months. So we didn't mention GoFundMe for 3 months because it's kind of hard to raise money if you can't go live. So not that it would be unimpressive if this was done in 12 months, but we've done this essentially September to September. Okay, so we've done this in... we've done it in 9 months.
Right.
Because September to September is a year. September to November is 12 months, but minus the 12 minus 3 is 9, right?
It's all getting very complicated.
Bottom line, we've done this in 9 months. The reason I say that is because it's not easy to raise $1,000.
Right.
To raise
fundraising is hard.
$83,000 from you, the largest donation we've had from 5,000. Trust me, it wasn't Jeff Bezos. It was a viewer. He's off the grid, anonymous. I don't know what he does, but not exactly a plutocrat. I haven't heard from him barking orders on what we should do. So this has all been from you guys. And we're not saying that once we meet the goal, like that's it, we have the money we need. But this is extremely helpful. It is, honestly, the GoFundMe money is the only reason we've even been able to start building our core business model of membership. Because membership, how we grow for the long term, we grew it because we were able to go in the field. The reason we were able to go in the field and continue to go in the field is because of the GoFundMe. So thank you.
We really appreciate it. And you're funding, our motto is giving the microphone back to the people. That's what you guys are funding. You're funding our travel around the country. You're funding, we talk about this huge story we're working on right now. We are working on this story because of you guys. And
right.
Whether it's $5 or $500, it all helps so much.
And about that big story, I'm not going to get into details because we don't want to jinx it. But the only reason that we got the information we currently have and are working on the story right now, that's why Jen's up here, she's working with me on it, is because we have been in the field. It's not so easy to land very sinister information from the comforts of your bathtub. You have to go, even though I like taking baths, you have to go out in the field. So we thank you. We're not done. We got less than $2,000 to go. After that, we're gonna create a way that for people who want to continue donating in a recurring fashion, we'll have recurring monthly donations. If you want to support Status Quo beyond your membership, that would help us too. But less than $2,000.
Honestly, if you want to set that up right now, we can. Just email us info@statusquo.com. We can set up a recurring subscription, like they do with politicians. Like it'll just automatically do it every month. So we're going to set that up. I'll try to talk louder. I can't scoot closer to the mic.
Hold on.
Perfect.
So yeah, let's keep going. And thank you, Jay, $4.99 in the super chat.
Hello, Celia
Hello.
and Carly Ann.
From Celia and Carly Ann. We love you. And once again, Deborah, thank you. That was incredibly generous. We really, really appreciate it. So
love you all. They want me to finish my story real quick.
Yes.
So we were...
Wait. They lost us for a second.
Is it?
Hold on. 1 second. Ooh. Please come. Yes, we're back. We're back.
So we were in Seattle and we went to a tent city, I guess. And really, there were many tents. I don't know, what'd you say, 20 tents, 10 tents, something like that. But really, nobody was around. And there's this one man who was. And one of the things we learned was people weren't around. They weren't at their tents because they were at work, which is just a really stunning thing to stop and think about, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, now that you have donated so much money to us, we have been able to secure a technological advancement that makes us appear and disappear as we choose. So when we press a button, we disappear.
Amazing.
But then we come back. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, what Jen was...
Or we're just technologically incompetent.
Right. But what Jen was saying was important. You look...
Graceland Parks!
You look at all... it's not just Seattle. San Francisco, Portland, Los Angeles, San Jose, Chicago, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Atlanta. I mean, New York. I could go on and on and on. It might not be as pervasive in talking about tent cities, but homelessness is exploding, and it's a lot of people that don't currently have a home and are working full-time jobs. So this economy, you know, when Joe Biden says, I want to restore the soul of America, to what? To what? We need more than a president who's going to be respectful and not tweet insane things. I don't think Joe Biden is going to make a dent in this. I don't think Joe Biden, where can I find it? Oh, there. Joe Biden is not going to turn this around, okay? Elizabeth Warren, she could talk about big structural change till she's blue in the face. She's not turning this around. Bernie Sanders would attempt to turn this around. He's not a wizard. When you look at this over 3 or 4 decades, it's not going to change overnight. But you at least need somebody who sees that this right here is the cancer around all of our necks. And everything is connected to this in front of you. From the homelessness to the gentrification to the police brutality, from environmental genocide. It is all connected to the hoarding and the kidnapping and the hijacking and the theft of your money into a small number of hands. Which brings me to Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, boy.
Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, boy.
I try to be fair. A lot of viewers don't like this, that I say, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think she's Lucifer. I don't think she's Trump. I don't think she's Hillary Clinton. But I think she's a phony baloney populist. And I think, although she's progressive on a number of issues, I think at the end of the day, political calculation and playing the game trumps her core conviction. We saw that in 2016. You know, I remember at the Young Turks when I debated my former colleague Emma, she said, well, you know, yeah, she made a mistake not endorsing Bernie. No. Making a mistake is like, I don't know, leaving the toilet bowl up and your significant other falling in the middle of the night.
That sounds like something that may have happened to
right,
you.
Right. But that's not making a mistake. That is choosing. That's like when the general tells you charge forward at the Battle of Bernie Hill, and you saying, no thanks. She failed to show up to the biggest progressive fight of the 21st century. I mean, other than Occupy Wall Street, which I think was the beginning of this progressive uprising over the last decade after the financial crash, Bernie versus Hillary, when Bernie still had that chance. I'm not saying Elizabeth Warren endorsing Bernie would have won it for him.
No.
But it makes a difference, no?
Right. Well, and I think that's why it's, you know, it reminds me of before AOC endorsed Bernie this time around, I thought she was going to pull an Elizabeth Warren and either not endorse anyone or endorse Elizabeth Warren. And the fact that AOC stuck with her convictions, to me, shows that she is a true progressive. The fact that Elizabeth Warren in 2016 did not endorse Bernie shows to me that she doesn't, you talk about her core convictions, but does she even have any? Like, is she truly a progressive? Maybe on some issues. But I think that playing politics wins out for her more than things like Medicare for all.
Robert James, Jordan, the threat is Biden, not Warren. Robert, we could walk and chew gum at the same time. Have you not watched Status Coup? Oh, Joe Biden gets plenty of coverage here on Status Coup. But I disagree with you. The threat is not just Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren has eaten into Bernie Sanders' base quite a bit. To me, Elizabeth Warren being in the race is the reason that Bernie Sanders is not the front runner. I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to run. She has a right to run.
Of course.
I'm not saying she shouldn't run or she should drop out. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, right now, if Elizabeth Warren was not in the race, Bernie Sanders is the front runner because her demographic, yes, she's got some Hillary supporters. Yes, a lot of Kamala supporters have moved over to Elizabeth Warren. Mm-hmm. You started seeing Elizabeth Warren really skyrocket as Kamala Harris plunged. But there is a significant base, including in Iowa, of former Bernie Sanders supporters who have moved on to Warren. And to me, what Jen was just describing of her not showing up in 2016 for Bernie, and remember, guys, almost 400 of you were watching, 276 likes. I hate to be a broken record. Press the like button. It's a thumbs up button right under the video. If you're watching on your phone and you're in the live chat on your phone, just press the X out of the live chat for a second. Then you can press the thumbs up and then go back in. This is very important. For whatever reason, YouTube's fakakta algorithm, the more people that press like, the more people who don't currently see the stream in their feeds, it pops up.
I want to start saying fakakta. I really like it.
Feel free. Jordan has a women's candidate.
Yeah, so I was going to address that. You said.
I just opened with Shama Sawant, but yes.
Right. Like, that to me is so ridiculous, and it's so frustrating. Actually, I think it was the Wall Street Journal had this headline yesterday. It was like, Bernie supporters are young men, and Warren supporters are progressives. And that was their headline. And to me, that is completely, saying that only Bernie bros like Bernie and that they're all sexist because they won't support the female candidates, to me is erasing women. And it's a ridiculous argument, I think, to say that just because, Jordan didn't support Hillary, Jordan doesn't support Elizabeth Warren, that's not sexist. It's having principles and being a true progressive, like going for the most progressive candidate who's actually going to make changes in this country. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just a ridiculous argument, in my opinion.
Hey, I 100% support Nina Turner as Bernie Sanders vice president, and then the first female president.
I love Nina Turner.
I would love that. But this whole not supporting women, like, I don't care if you have a vagina, a penis, or a space globe for parts.
Jordan has a different way of describing things than I would choose.
Right. And if Elizabeth Warren was consistent, hey, I'd say I want Bernie, but she's fine. And by the way, whoever said that, I'm going against most of my audience, because I got to be true to myself, saying if she's the nominee, I will personally vote for her. You don't have to. I'm not telling you what to do, but I will.
I'm actually going to have a little rant about this because it really.
Can we show the clip first and then you could do the rant?
Okay, but remind me to rant about it.
Yes, I will. So I want to get into this because 2016, she doesn't show up for Bernie. I was always trying to think of the good term for what that is. Is it Benedict Warren? Whatever. Yeah. But I think Elizabeth Warren just actually said the term on stage of what her decision in 2016 was all about. So this is at I think, Environmental Justice Forum. Amy Goodman from Democracy Now! Was asking Elizabeth Warren, what are your thoughts? It seems like Iowa and New Hampshire have this insane influence over the entire election because all the candidates are so focused on Iowa and New Hampshire, which are 98% white. Is it right that Iowa and New Hampshire should have this outsized influence? Let's take a look at what Elizabeth Warren had to say.
Speaking about racial injustice, do you think the order of the primary states should change? You have Iowa and New Hampshire.
Wait, let me just, before you finish, are you actually going to ask me to sit here and criticize Iowa and New Hampshire?
No, I'm asking about the order.
No, that is what Iowa and New Hampshire
let me
are all
just
about.
ask, they're two of the whitest states in the country. And then we move to South Carolina with a very significant population of people of color. And it means the candidates spend so much of their time catering to those first two states. Overall, do you think that should change?
Look, I'm just a player in the game on this one. And I am delighted to be in South Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, that's actually the first time I've seen that clip. I don't actually even know what my thoughts are, except for she just plays politics. Like she's trying, you could kind of see her wheels spinning, like, how can I best answer this so that I don't piss off the white people of Iowa, like, instead of actually thinking about the question and why Amy Goodman asked the question. Her answer was terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think, to me, I don't want to be unfair to Elizabeth Warren, so I'm not saying when she says I'm a player in the game, that's her period in all things. But I think you play the end. The end was, should I leave the microphone here? There was nothing more to the clip. We're not selectively editing. That was the end of it. She walked off stage and then forgot that she had taken the microphone and brought it back. Thank you, Robert Jane, $2. Biden could win big in South Carolina and stop Bernie. We'll get to that in a minute. Did I miss any other super chats? Smash Dragon 11, $2. Let's hope Dorr, Kyle Kalinske, and Humanist cover it. Oh, I'm sure they will. So, to me, what stands out about that is when you say, I'm just a player in the game, what you're really saying is, like Jen said, I don't want to bother anyone here.
Right.
I don't want to lose any votes here. I don't want to risk jeopardizing Iowa and New Hampshire, which, frankly, it is ridiculous that Iowa, no offense to Iowa, I've been there, nice people, nice state, that Iowa has such an outsized influence. But do you want to know why Iowa has such an outsized influence? Because we live in a country with propaganda for media. The candidates know that even though Iowa doesn't have the most delegates, even though Iowa is predominantly white and does not even represent the Democratic Party's demographics, let alone the country's, that, let's say, Elizabeth Warren, for example, if she came in 4th or 5th in Iowa, she knows her candidacy is dead, because that's how the media would describe it.
Right.
If Bernie Sanders comes at 4th or 5th place, they are going to be calling on him to drop out right away. So it's the narrative that is associated with Iowa and New Hampshire, not because those states actually represent who would be the best president or represent the entire country. And frankly, South Carolina, for example, should not be the first state either, because most states are not predominantly, I think South Carolina is 60% or 70% African American. So if it was reversed and South Carolina was first, and let's say Mississippi was 2, we'd have the opposite problem. We should have a popular vote in this country, not an electoral college. But putting that aside, I can't say that, I can't get in his head and say how Bernie would answer, but I'm pretty sure Bernie Sanders would have answered that something along, listen, I want to win Iowa and New Hampshire, but yeah, I do think it's a little outsized, the influence. It doesn't represent the country, and obviously it's predominantly white. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the people of these states. It just means it shouldn't have a complete stranglehold of the entire primary process. But Elizabeth Warren, and this is why I don't trust her over Bernie Sanders, I don't trust that when she gets in office, she's going to fight for the things that she says she's going to fight for. You want to know why? Because she just said it. Hey, I'm a player in this game.
Yeah.
That's not somebody, when somebody says, I'm going to enforce big structural change, I don't know how you're going to do that if you basically view this as, well, politics is dirty. Politics is politics. I got to be everything to everyone. I got to say something that pleases everyone and say nothing that could offend anyone. Your thoughts?
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't think she's a fighter. And it goes back to what we were talking about, core convictions. Does she actually have any? Well, it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. I don't think she's an evil person. I think maybe she thinks playing the game is the only way to get good enough policies passed, but that's not how we get real change at all.
And Cyberclue, $5 in the super chat. Elizabeth Warren's YouTube channel has disabled user comments on almost all of her videos. No other candidate has done this. Censorship,
Wow.
Fear of critics. Cyberclue, I trust you, but I got to look myself
Right.
to make sure. I'm sure you're right. If that's the case, yeah, that is a form of censorship. I don't know why you would. I mean, obviously, if there's comments coming in vile, disgusting comments or sexism or things that are clearly out of bounds, like, I don't have a problem with somebody deleting certain comments.
Absolutely.
But disabling all the comments, we'll look into that. Thanks for the heads up. Maddie Perry donated many times, $4.99. Told you Warren is more of an opportunist than a progressive. Oh, I just showed you one clip. We got another one to come. I always get this wrong. I believe that's 20 euros, or is it pounds?
I have no idea.
Jordan, 20. I'm going with pounds.
Good name, Jordan.
Is there an organized way we could call out the MSM bias, Bernie blackout together? Journalists, the FD YouTubers, including Bernie surrogates with large platforms, a Bernie campaign rally, hashtag media protest outside, for example, CNN. Jordan, as much as we love Bernie, we are not part of the Bernie campaign, but there is an organized way you could call out corporate media bias. It's called statuscoup.com/join. That's statuscoup.com/join. We have created Status Coup to counter the corporate media propaganda. So for $5 to $10 a month as a Status Coup member, you could do it. In terms of an organized way, I have heard, I know on our members call somebody asked us about that. What can we do? Not from a Bernie supporter standpoint, but from a disgusted with the media standpoint. What can we do to fight back peacefully? Obviously nothing violent or physical. So I know that there are individuals trying to set up some type of coordinated protest against the media. They made it clear not speaking as for Bernie, because then it just looks like, oh, Bernie supporters, but against. I mean, we're going to show you a clip later from MSNBC. There's a coordinated propaganda campaign, not just against Bernie, but to just totally make believe that there's not a progressive explosion going on in the country. So I wish I had a better answer, but my answer is Status Coup membership.
Yeah, for sure. And our job is to cover the media bias and to call it out in that way, journalistically. But, activists get together. I think activism is just so important. So you could be the one. Start it.
And thank you, Carl Knight, $25 in the GoFundMe. Bonnie, $12.
Carl.
So we're now 1,000. Are you good at math? I have
I'm not good at
I have a very
math.
hard time with this.
Jordan and I are very not good at math.
$1,848. $1,848 away from the GoFundMe goal. Can we reach that today? Is it possible?
The whole goal?
That would be a dream.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Do it, guys.
So, and I will say, for the 420 of you watching, smoke a doobie, 420, we can't get into detail, but the story we're working on right now, I believe, will put the coup on the map. I think that this is definitely the biggest story I've ever worked on, I assume.
Yeah, of course.
Biggest story I've ever worked on. I don't even think the best screenwriter could write a movie with this level of corruption.
It is straight out of a movie. Like, parts of it would be unbelievable, even in a movie. It's just insane.
Yes, the level of corruption we have found is not only psychopathic, it's not only criminal, it's not only murderous, it's basically was hiding in plain sight. And no journalist ever looked into this. And I wouldn't be surprised if certain journalists knew what we found and sat on it. I would not be surprised at all.
I wonder, with all the news out there lately about media organizations shutting down stories and not running certain stories for insider reasons, it would not surprise me at all.
Right. So, that's not the only Elizabeth Warren clip that we need to show you. Elizabeth Warren, and for those of you who think I'm being unfair or sexist or whatever, listen, I've already said, and a lot of people don't agree, if she's the nominee, I'm voting for her. Personally, I don't tell you who to vote for. Some outlets really are a little go over the top, in my view, trying to kind of get their viewers to vote a certain way. I say
not any outlet in particular.
No, not any outlet in particular.
Well, let me
Young Turks.
let me do my little rant real quick.
Go ahead.
Because it's about that topic. I 100% agree with Jordan on this. If Elizabeth Warren is the nominee, I will 100% vote for her. And as you guys have heard, I'm no Elizabeth Warren supporter. I think she's a phony progressive. I think she's taking advantage of progressives. And it really, talking about her base earlier, it's actually interesting to me. Bernie's base is lower income people in general, people of color. Warren's base are wealthy, educated white people. And to me, that signifies on its own who the real progressive is. Because if you look at their base of supporters, that's who is fighting for the people. This guy in my hand. So he's my choice. I mean, but if Warren is the nominee, I will vote for her. If Biden is the nominee, I will vote for him. I fully believe, and I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. I live in Maryland, which is a very blue state. It always goes blue. So I chose to do that. And you might even hate this, but I actually did phone banking for Hillary because of in red states and swing states, swing states. So because I view Donald Trump as such a threat, even back then I did. But now it's even more clear. Donald Trump cannot be allowed to be president, and I think the chances are that he will be elected again. And I am terrified of that. So I 100% will vote for whoever the Dem nominee is. And I know a lot of you, that probably pisses you off. And again, we're not telling anyone who to vote for, but with my whole heart, Donald Trump is a very significant threat.
Well, I mean, my thought is this, right? If you want, I don't believe in voting for the lesser of two evils and this kind of stuff. I think it's why we're in the situation we're in. But for those of you that followed me at the Young Turks, when I was asked this, in 2016, I said, you put a gun to my head. You put a gun to my head. I would rather 4 years of Trump than 8 years of Hillary Clinton. And I stand by it. Because I really thought if Trump got elected, it would usher in such a period of activism and movements. And we've seen that. But the bottom line is, you're now talking about another 4 years of this man. To me, the most important threat of Donald Trump, and I'm saying this as a white dude, obviously, the most important threat of Donald Trump, you give this man another 2 years, let alone 4 years. The United Nations talking about 12 years left for this planet before irrevocable damage. Mm-hmm. No. If Donald Trump is reelected, we are effed. Yeah. Trying not to get demonetized for this planet. And you could talk to your blue in the face about progressives and the purity test and Bernie or bust and all this stuff. You're not going to have a progressive movement if the planet is irrevocably damaged. So to me, there's no point in even discussing it because we're still in the primary and I support Bernie. But to compare Elizabeth Warren to Donald Trump, I think is incredibly short-sighted. You vote for whoever you want, but to me, it's not even close. And I think that's extreme. I think that's very extreme thinking to say Warren, yeah, she's not the progressive hero she pretends to be. She's not the progressive fighter she pretends to be. But she's also not Hillary Clinton. I just think it's kind of crazy to compare, to say, oh, I'd rather 4 more years of Trump than you sit by and enjoy the planet burning. Because that's what's going to happen.
And more kids in cages, and the most vulnerable people in our country and in countries all around the world, those are the people who are going to feel the results of that decision.
Yeah, and I see the comments already, and people be like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. Yeah,
people are like, I'm leaving.
Listen.
I'm as left as it gets without being a communist.
We're not, like, there are some channels that just give you what you want to hear. Sometimes we're not going to agree on all things. Mm-hmm. But I think if you are objectively looking at Trump and the last 4 years, and you are looking at the long picture, not only of like America, but the world, if you can't see that re-electing this man would have fundamentally like chaotic and possibly cataclysmic damage to the planet, forget everything else for a second, the planet, then I think you're blind, and I think you're not seeing clearly. That doesn't mean that if Elizabeth Warren were president, you close your eyes and count to 10. That doesn't mean that if she became the nominee, status quo is going to close our eyes.
We will call her out every single day.
Yeah, I'm not a calendar progressive. I would go after her just as hard during the general as I am the primary if she continues to be a phony baloney. But I'm just telling you, for me personally, you do what you want. For me personally, I'm not going to vote for, I'm going to vote for somebody that at least economically and at least on the planet, is not a toxic lunatic. And you do what you want, but that's my view.
And fight as hard as you can in the primary. You know, Bernie has a real chance here. He is surging. Don't listen to the media and their stupid headlines that they make up, like only young men like Bernie. It's not true. And fight in the primary, and that's where I think our energy needs to go.
You know, but this is the comment that bothers me the most. People will go back to sleep if Warren's in a minute. Forget sleep or not. The planet is burning. I don't understand like what people are missing. We don't have time. Like,
right.
If Donald Trump is elected, okay, first of all, he has doubled and tripled down on Obama's fracking. Okay? He is literally creating economic partnership with the leader of Brazil, who is burning 20% of the Earth's lungs. Donald Trump literally wants to privatize Native American reservations to drill. Okay? So, I mean, I understand, and I am as hardcore as it comes with taking on Warren and Biden and all these people. But sometimes there's also a bigger picture to the things we focus on every day. The bigger picture is planetary sustainability, right? So, like, right now, I'm focused on Bernie, not Warren. But if you ask me, if you give me a choice between Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump for 4 years, and you look at the planet, which now has, according to the UN, 11 years left, I think less. I mean, I'm just focused on what will continue on this planet for my nephew and niece, and when I have children.
And I have two children, and it terrifies me just thinking about the world that we are leaving them. So that's why I say fight now. Fight really, really hard for Bernie or whoever your chosen candidate is, but don't burn the planet down out of protest. Like, that solves nothing.
And like I said, I think the Young Turks, when I was there, frankly, went overboard during the general. I think they went from so hardcore supporting Bernie to then, like, not even covering Hillary Clinton's corruption. We're not like that. We're going to cover Warren, if she were the nominee, just as critically as we would in the primary. We're not going to close our eyes. I'm just telling you personally, I'm not going to, like, pretend to. I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. And if you don't, if you want to unsubscribe, then unsubscribe.
Don't do that.
But. Yeah. But the point is, like, I personally, as a consumer of media, I'd rather someone to watch people with integrity than people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah, we're not going to blow smoke up your bum. We're going to tell you how we truly feel.
And by the way, whoever said people would just go back to sleep, I don't know what political environment you're looking at. People are not going back to sleep ever again in this country, as far as I could tell. If it was Warren as president, if it was Biden as president, if it was any of these schlubs as president, I think what you're seeing now would continue tenfold because of Bernie and AOC and all the progressives that have galvanized the younger generation. People are not going back to sleep. And that, no. I believe, clearly.
I feel so strongly that Generation Z, the teens, are going to save us. And they are just so, the 16-year-old that you interviewed at that BlackRock protest, these kids know a lot. They're all on TikTok, like, talking about politics, talking about the environment. I believe very strongly in that. But we need to have a planet still for them to save. So, and people saying if anyone who takes corporate money, they're all the same. No, you can't tell me with a straight face that Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren are literally the same. That's not true. If you're telling me like Biden and I don't know, whoever, like two normal corporate Dems and corporate GOP, yeah, they are basically the same. But Donald Trump is an existential threat. It's different. We need to have a planet to save. Donald Trump is just, I can't, it's so
And by the
ridiculous.
way, this is coming from a channel that probably covers Donald Trump less than any other independent YouTube channel. We choose not to cover Trump, not because we don't think he's a threat, not because we don't think there's important things and disastrous things he's doing. I don't have anything else to add. Do you have anything else to add that everyone else isn't doing 25 times?
No, it's all anyone covers.
So the point is, it's not that Donald Trump is the only problem in America or the world. The point is, there is micro issues and macro issues. Mm-hmm. The macro issue is and you're seeing it all the time where you live. The climate is volatile. The planet is volatile. Go ask people in California right now. Go ask people in the Midwest, some regions that hurricanes and extreme weather 6 months ago, their areas are still flooded. Go ask parts of New York and New Jersey that have never recovered from Hurricane Sandy. Go ask Puerto Rico. Go ask Miami, which is going to be underwater in the next decade. They can't, a lot of people can't take the risk of Trump. So that's what I say. You don't like it? Too bad.
I actually, and this will probably piss people off, but I think it's a very privileged take to say I refuse to vote for the Democrat. Like, that's privilege. You're screwing people over, and that's my opinion.
And you do what you want. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. We're telling you who we personally would vote for. But since it is still the primary, I must tell you,
Elizabeth Warren's
terrible.
She's bad.
Watch this clip. She was asked, name some black people that you would put in your cabinet.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. She had some trouble answering this question. Here we go.
When you think about the makeup of your cabinet, what 3 African Americans do you feel like you have to have in your cabinet?
Ooh,
About the makeup of your cabinet, what 3 African Americans do you feel like you have to have in your cabinet?
ooh, there's a little danger in this answer because some of those folks who are running for president may not want to be here themselves mentioned as cabinet members because, dang, there's some good people. And some of them are in Congress and may not want to hear that somebody's got. Is that okay?
Congressman Adams, you don't have to call my name.
But it is. It's about having people who are fighters. It's about having people who are in the fight and want to be in the fight and are going to stay in the fight. For me, it's about building a cabinet that's about people who share the same vision and who don't just share the vision, who don't just see the big idea, but who have a real commitment to get out there and fight for it. That's what I want. I want fighters in my cabinet.
3 names?
Oh, you're making me cut off all the politicians. But if I can talk about people who aren't politicians, I talk about my former governor, Deval Patrick, who is a pretty terrific guy. I talk about some of the people I've met who are presidents of HBCUs, especially those who are deeply engaged in education. And I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to stay outside the current Washington part. Where's the best place to go for cabinet members? It's to have people who are in the fight. People like Melody Barnes, my friend of more than 20 years, who's been in this fight from the beginning, who under President Obama was domestic policy advisor. Someone like Melody, who may not be as well known to this crowd, but who is out there fighting every day for money for higher education, money for public schools. So that'd be something I'd love to have in a cabinet.
So, before I get to that, I just want to say, honestly, and I'm just going to keep it real, because somebody wrote in the live chat, if you support Warren over Trump, look forward to, if you support Warren over Trump, look forward to losing half of your subscribers. To that, I say,
Oh my God.
goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye. I could always speak for myself, but I know Jen feels the same way.
I couldn't live with myself.
We're not going to trade our integrity for YouTube clicks.
Absolutely not.
I'd rather do something else for a living than just tell people what they want to hear and not have any convictions myself. So for those of you who have the lens, I will only watch news and information that 100% agree with my views. This is not the channel for you, and it never has been. Go watch Fox News if you want your views 100% agreed with. Go watch MSNBC, whatever you want, whatever cup of tea is yours. There's other channels probably on the left that are very, very black or white, but I'm not going to trade my conviction to keep subscribers who frankly have a black and white view of the world. That, by the way, saying that I would personally or she would personally vote for Elizabeth Warren doesn't mean we're okay with candidates that take money from banks and oil companies or candidates that play the game. There's something called nuance. So I'm not okay with that, and I would not shut up as a journalist if Elizabeth Warren was the nominee at her taking big money or her not taking big money but doing fundraisers for the DNC from plutocrats. We would cover it the same exact way during the general that we would the primary. What I'm telling you is, if you give me a choice, what is more urgent? Elizabeth Warren taking money from these sources, or Donald Trump, who's taking that same money while also letting the entire country be drilled, while also having economic alliances with someone burning down the Amazon, while also trying to seize Native American reservations to privatize and drill? If you give me the choice, I think you're a fucking idiot if you don't see what's right in front of you there. Again, if you want to be extremist, if you want to vote, if that's how you want to vote, that's fine. I'm not telling you who to vote for. But this attitude like, well, then you're going to lose me, then go. Because we're not going to just tell you what you want to hear. Maybe that's, bad in the short term for business, but in the long term, if you really want to watch people that agree with you 100% of the time, that's on you. That's not on us.
And those people, those types of commentators are phony balonies.
Yes.
And I could name some, but won't. And if you're saying that you will vote for Trump over Elizabeth Warren,
I don't think they're saying that. I think they're saying they just wouldn't vote or they'd vote third party or whatever. Because
I think they're still latching onto that idea from 2016 that, Trump, because they believe his lies when he was using that populist message. They still believe that just because he says he's anti-war, he's not. It's ridiculous. You guys we've said our opinion. We get it. If you want to go because you're willing to let the planet burn, then bye-bye.
So on that clip, to me the most troublesome thing that she said was not the fact that she clearly, just off the top of her head, doesn't really know a lot of black leaders.
She was just babbling, she had no idea what to say.
No, but to me, the thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that she was like, well, there's some other people in the race.
Imagine who those people are. Can you guess?
She's talking about she wants fighters. Well,
oh, God.
I think Cory Booker and Kamala Harris are the only two African Americans in the race. Cory Booker's going to be a fighter in your administration for who? The drug companies?
Side note, I'm very upset about the Rosario Dawson Cory Booker thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was a Bernie surrogate.
So, who is Cory Booker going to fight for? Elizabeth Warren. He has fought for pharmaceutical companies, claiming, well, I'm a senator from New Jersey, and they're a big part of our economy here. He's going to fight for Wall Street, other than Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, Kirsten Gillibrand, Cory Booker. Tops. He's in that group of taking money hand over fist from Wall Street and doing whatever the hell they want. Kamala Harris? What is Kamala Harris going to fight for? She has reversed herself on any progressive position that she has taken. She's reversed herself on Medicare for all. She could claim what she's proposing is Medicare for all. It's not. She, I think at the end of last year, said she was for free public college. A month later, it was from a debt-free college, whatever the hell that means. I still don't know what that means. So when you're claiming, there might be some people currently in the race that are great fighters. Yeah, no,
Right.
they're not. I mean, I don't share Andrew Yang's prescriptions. I don't think his version of UBI is correct, but I wouldn't have a problem if Bernie were the nominee or became president. I think Andrew Yang is a intelligent person. I think
can't.
I
can't do
I think Andrew. No, but I'm saying if you ask me, I mean, obviously it doesn't fit this topic because he's not black. But if you ask me,
Right.
like, what are some persons of colors or minorities running that you'd consider? Like, I think Yang has interesting ideas. I'm not saying I would choose him if I was Bernie, but I would certainly consider Yang before I would Cory Booker or Kamala Harris any day of the week.
Yeah, I guess that's
At least he's
true.
understanding about automation and basically the robot threats and things like that. Kate, $1.99. Any unions for Bernie? Unions needed for the vest. I believe some unions have endorsed Bernie. Off the top of my
Yeah.
head, I can't read them all, but yes, some unions have certainly endorsed Bernie. Tulsi too. I mean, listen, I have a couple issues with Tulsi lately.
I'm so over Tulsi.
Oh, boy.
We're going to be pissed off about that too. Go ahead.
Yeah,
and then
go ahead.
So Tulsi is just
Can Jordan move over to his left a bit?
equal space on the screen. Oh, are we turning this into it's a sexist thing? You can do no right, Jordan. No, literally these chairs, they're very awkward and it's like difficult. So Tulsi has just, I mean, she's been defending Joe Biden. She's like, her Medicare for all position is just weird. She's done some crazy stuff lately that's not progressive at all. Honestly, she seems like she's becoming a little unhinged, in my opinion. She's really surprised me. I loved Tulsi in 2016. I was very kind of personally supportive of her earlier on in this round, but I don't know, she's gone off the rails.
I mean, somebody said Tulsi versus Yang. I certainly take Tulsi. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think the issue I've been having with Tulsi is I'm not against going into enemy territories. I'm not against doing interviews on Fox News. I'm not against trying to cater to some right-wing voters because a lot of the primaries are open primaries where Republicans could vote for a Tulsi Gabbard. And frankly, a lot of Republican voters that voted for Trump, they liked his message of getting out of all these wars. Obviously, Trump's full of it. We're still bombing all these countries. He hasn't gotten out of Afghanistan. Yeah, he's switched troops out of one region of Syria. Meanwhile, the corporate media doesn't cover it. Trump sent 2,500 troops to the Middle East to fight against Iran over the last 6 months. So he's not removing us from anywhere. But you kind of lose me when you start going on Breitbart.
Yes, exactly.
You kind of lose me when you start going on Breitbart. When you start, she did a private fundraiser with Anthony Scaramucci and Wall Street.
Oh my God.
And I know this is going to offend
Yikes.
a certain YouTube channel who has his head so far up Tulsi Gabbard's
Jordan's
ass.
baiting me
he
right now.
cannot see straight. Who defends Tulsi Gabbard on everything possible. But listen, like anyone who defends any one person on everything is a fraud.
It's insane.
I don't defend Bernie Sanders on every single thing. And I listen, I would die and go to heaven if Tulsi Gabbard was Bernie's defense secretary. I think that would be amazing. Secretary of State even. But I'm not gonna ignore that she was doing off the record conversations with Wall Street people. I'm not gonna ignore she's going on Breitbart.com, which to me is equivalent to the KKK. Some of the things that they do and the Muslim, anti-immigrant, Islamophobic content they put out. To me, that's concerning. I'm not over her, but she's certainly moved down a notch as far as me.
People are saying that my thing against Tulsi is not fact-based. It is. She's going on extreme right-wing channels. Extreme right-wing people are latching onto her, and I understand that there are a lot of smears out there. There was a New York Times piece a few weeks ago that was completely unfair. The attacks calling her a Russian, whatever it is, asset, completely unfair. What I am talking about is her defense of Joe Biden. How can a true progressive not be pissed off that Tulsi Gabbard has multiple times sent supportive like tweets about Joe Biden. That doesn't ring any alarm bells. The fact that she's meeting with Wall Street people doesn't ring any alarm bells. You can't just be a sycophant. I mean, people might... I absolutely love and adore Bernie on a personal level, but if he starts meeting with Wall Street, I'm going to call him out. I will be the first one to call him out.
And by the way, I would have had no issue with Tulsi Gabbard meeting with Wall Street if we could see it, right?
Yeah, why
But
is it closed door?
The first time she did an event with Wall Street, I criticized her, but I didn't realize they shot the video, and we were able to watch the video. And I went on after and said, hey, she spoke in front of these folks the same way she spoke in public. So it wasn't like a public position and a private position. But recently, she went and had meetings and off the record conversations with Wall Street people. You don't do that to like play Mario Kart. You're doing that because you want their money, because you need money to sustain your campaign, and she wants to continue her campaign. I don't have a problem with her continuing her campaign. And by the way, I think she has been blackballed by the media like Bernie has in 2016. She's either been totally ignored or made into a Russian puppet and a Assad apologist, which I think is completely unfair and ridiculous. And I think Joseph, when he was filling in for me the other day, covered she kicked ass on The View against that snotty ass Joy Behar and the propaganda coming out. So it's not all or nothing. I'm not like against Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
But it would be what am I going to attack Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Amy Klobuchar and all these people for the twisting themselves into a pretzel for Wall Street? But then when Tulsi Gabbard does it,
Then it's okay.
give her the benefit of the doubt.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, no. And if you like channels that do that, God bless you.
Certain channels.
Yes. Betavirus, $5 with the sticker. Keep it up. Thank you, Betavirus. Samo, $5. Will you interview other progressives running for Senate, Congress? There, too, you should. Ted Terry running for Georgia Senate and Michael Owens running against a blue dog. Yes. Email info@statuscoup.com. info@statuscoup.com. I'm not going to promise or overpromise because right now, when I'm not live, Jen and I are working on a major story that's taking up all our time. But we do plan on doing interviews with local candidates, both everything from city council to local races, all the way up to Senate and Congress. And if we could grow our membership, hint, hint, become a Status Coup member for as low as $5 to $10 a month, statuscoup.com/join, we would like to do more coverage in the field of these candidates. I remember when I was at the Young Turks in 2016, I actually went down the week before the race between Tim Canova and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I followed the volunteers canvassing, obviously interviewed Canova at the time, interviewed people with his campaign, interviewed people in the district. I'd love to do that more because there's a lot of campaigns. I'm not saying like us going down is going to be the difference between these candidates winning, but one of the things that these candidates struggle with is media coverage, is awareness. So we'd love to do that. We just need the money. Unfortunately, it's just not cheap at all.
And in membership, it's not, obviously you're helping build the media revolution when you join. This is how we are going to grow our channel. This is how we are going to report in the field. We have huge, huge membership goals. But also, I don't think we talk about this enough. You guys get really, really cool stuff when you join as a member. You get behind the scenes video diaries. We do a monthly member call where we both reveal way too much information. You ask us anything, we're on like a video chat on Zoom. It's really fun. And we're actually planning, like Joseph is working on some members only content, members only videos, and we have big plans for the membership. So definitely join and get some behind the scenes juicy
I'm enjoying
stuff.
this sticker stuff.
Yeah, the stickers are fun.
Bobby Foxglove, $5 in the super chat with is that a
Foxglove? And it's a fox.
Oh, a fox.
Is it? I don't know.
Everything Revolution, $2. Tulsi's reaching out to serve, unite all Americans. Hey, Everything Revolution. I said it's not all or nothing. I don't hate Tulsi Gabbard by any means. I would love Bernie, if he was the nominee or president, to consider her for a cabinet position. I just have an issue with something she's doing. And this is what drives me crazy about YouTube a little bit and about the internet. I think we've gotten to this extremist point. Not every viewer is like this, but there's so many viewers who just are like, you say if you criticize Tulsi or Bernie or anybody that they like, they're so blinded that they think that these people's shit comes out gold. I mean, no, Tulsi, she's done some things I don't like. Bernie has done some things I don't like. I criticize Bernie quite a bit on this channel. It's probably why I've never gotten an interview, frankly. Even when I was at the Young Turks.
Shout us out.
Come on, Bern. Come on. But, I just think it's disingenuous we cover corruption. We cover people that basically are frauds and pretend to be progressive while taking the money from the special interests. Should we just close our eyes when Tulsi Gabbard goes to have off-the-record conversations with Wall Street? Should we just close our eyes when Tulsi Gabbard was for Medicare for all, but now is for Medicare choice? Yes, there's a difference between being for Medicare for all, being the single payer, and also allowing people to have the right and ability to go see a private doctor. That is not what she's proposing. A lot of people have said, Jordan, she's just proposing what Canada does. No, she's not. What she's proposing is two payers. She's proposing Medicare as well as the private health insurance industry. Yes, Canada and Germany and all these countries, they have the government provides the health care, but you could also, as a citizen, there are private doctors who aren't part of the government system. That is fine. Bernie's system would still have private doctors who, for whatever reason, don't want to participate. But that's not what she's proposing. Should I just trade my convictions and say, well, it's Tulsi Gabbard and she's a veteran and I love her views on the military and regime change, so I'll just ignore her moonwalking away from Medicare for all? No, I'm not going to do that.
Right. And you guys are with us. You're watching Status Quo. You subscribe to Status Quo, hopefully. If you haven't, then subscribe now. But because you're with us because we're truth tellers, because we're actual journalists. And that means telling the truth no matter what. We're not one of those channels that's just going to support Tulsi or whoever it is just because.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
So here's my view, because we've done like 2 hours on Warren. To me, the thing that is propping up Elizabeth Warren the most right now is the large number of candidates. I think if you had a debate stage with Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and let's just throw in Yang and Tulsi, so maybe 6 people. Mm-hmm. I think if there is more time for an actual contrast between Tulsi, I would take Tulsi over Warren personally, but that's just me. I think if there's more time for an actual contrast between Bernie and Warren, I think Bernie's going to win that race personally, because I think Bernie, with Warren, you see she struggles to answer certain things, or she refuses to answer certain things because her mind first considers political calculations.
Yes.
Bernie doesn't think that way. Bernie just answers what he truly believes. By the way, we've been getting some messages like, how do we email story ideas, this and that, info@statusquo.com. So I think...
And if we missed your super chat, tag Status Quo and just paste it again. Sorry.
Right. So what I think is, if there were less people on stage, meaning the rest of this riffraff get out of the race, if we could get some of this riffraff out of the race, Julian Castro, goodbye. Okay? It's over. Forget it. Goodbye. Klobuchar, no. Who else we got? We need Booker, goodbye.
Ugh.
Kamala Harris, sorry. You could move and you could
Bloomer.
camp out in a tent in Iowa for all I care. You're not winning at this point. I think we need to get rid of, frankly, who am I forgetting?
Steyer and Bloomberg.
Oh, Steyer, Bloomberg.
Is what's his face still in? The guy who looks just like a creepy little troll. What's his name?
Pete Buttigieg?
No, not him. Alfred E. Newman, as Trump says. No, God, what's his name? You guys remind us who we're forgetting.
Point is, if you could get 5 or 6 people off that stage, then I think it becomes a lot more of a singular frame of Biden, Warren, and Bernie. Pete Buttigieg, they're trying for dear life to prop this guy up. It ain't gonna happen. There's no there. Yeah, he might place 2nd or 3rd in Iowa. I don't think Pete Buttigieg.
Bennett.
He's not on the debate stage. He didn't qualify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bennett didn't qualify, but yes, he should get out. I'm talking about people that have qualified for the next debate.
Delaney. Is he the one weird-looking guy?
Delaney
yeah.
is not qualified either.
No.
So this number of candidates is making it where Elizabeth Warren kind of skates during these debates, and there's not that many moments between Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Whereas when you start whittling it down to 4 or 5 people, then I think Bernie Sanders, I don't think Bernie's ever going to lob bombs at Elizabeth Warren. He's just not going to do that. You know, I think they have a decent relationship. Frankly, I think I don't have any facts to back this up. It's just a thought and a gut that I have. I do think Bernie and Warren had a discussion before they announced to basically talk about a scenario like down the road, if we're both kind of whatever, not necessarily, oh, I'll drop out or you'll drop out, but just like what their thinking was at that time about that scenario. However, Bernie, the more people have seen Bernie, and the more people have seen a contrast between Bernie and Biden. Bernie had a very good moment against Biden in the last debate. The more he goes up in the polls. And Elizabeth Warren has kind of plateaued the last few weeks. She was, for a short period, she moved ahead of Biden in a lot of national polls. Now it's kind of a 3-way race. Or you see Biden in a lot of polls now, again, the front runner by a couple points. So to me, and some people said, Jordan, if Biden crushes in South Carolina, it's over. I don't think so. By the way, a lot of people in 2007 and 2008, Hillary Clinton was outpolling Barack Obama in South Carolina. Let me repeat. Hillary Clinton was outpolling Barack Obama in South Carolina leading up to the Iowa caucus. When Obama won the Iowa caucus, that changed dramatically. So I'm not saying if Bernie won Iowa, he's going to win South Carolina. I think Biden will win South Carolina. I'm saying I don't think Biden's winning South Carolina by 30 points if he loses Iowa and New Hampshire. I just don't see that.
Right, yeah, I agree.
So, bottom line, to put a bow on it, it's time for a Jewish president. You know, you should tell my father that. He's a major Jew, but he likes Trump. I said to him, if it's Bernie versus Trump, what kind of Jew are you voting for Trump? I think when it comes down to it, this next debate is super important. It's the Washington Post is co-hosting the debate.
Oh my God.
So if you think they've been terrible to Bernie already, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. If the Washington Post is there, I don't know, what's the debate version of 16 or 24 negative headlines in 16 hours?
Oh, yeah.
Edwin, I switched from Patreon to Status Quo member. Why, thank you, Edwin.
Great, thanks, Edwin.
Maybe we'll comment about that a little bit. Obviously, if you're a Patreon, no problem with our patrons. You get the same exclusive content our members get. But eventually, we are going to try and convert more patrons over to membership, only because, in practical business sense, we don't really want to be reliant on a third-party platform like Patreon.
Yeah, so there's like Chapo Trap House, for example. They're now earning $140,000 on Patreon every month, which is insane. Yeah. But what happens if Patreon disappears in 2 years? They're screwed. So that's why we're relying on our own membership platform.
Right. So, and, you know, we don't want to knock you over the head, but if you're not a member, this is what it's going towards. Reporting in the field. Tuesday, we're going to be covering something in the field. At the moment, we're not sure, but we're hoping to go to New Hampshire on Wednesday to cover a Warren event. There's also an event coming up in Jersey that we want to cover. And also, Jen and I might have to go back in the field soon on this story that we're working on. Somebody asked, by the way, earlier, Jordan, could you give us some hint of when this story is going to come out?
When it's going to come out. No, I say don't.
We can't, because honestly, it's not completely in our control.
Right.
We are currently, fingers crossed, we're working on it for a larger outlet. But we've learned in the past that until they hit publish, you can never be sore. So if it was just us, we could give you an idea when it's going to be published. But since it's a outlet bigger than us that we're working with on it, we can't say for certain. But if nothing changes, the way it's looking, definitely this year.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, this year. So that would be, in less than 2 months. So I think let's just do a free-for-all Q&A for the rest of the show. As a reminder, we go live on Sundays when everybody else is just hanging out to raise money. We have earned a good amount of money today. We're at $83,152. So in the final, probably 20 minutes, half hour, we'll definitely be taking your questions, comments, concerns, ideas. But we also would love if you'd pitch in, because as you can see, that green line is almost at the end. We got less than $2,000 to go. So any amount really makes a big difference. $5, $20, $500, whatever you could do. We really, really appreciate it. So,
and you guys are literally funding, like with the story that we're hinting at. I'm so sorry we can't give more details, but you are funding like one of the most important stories, I would say, of how would you even describe it? Like this is,
I think this
major.
story, I'm biased, but I think this story is the biggest domestic story, non-Trump story this century.
Yeah. And it's so bad. I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes. Like one of the nights where we were in the field, I cried my eyes out for literal hours because I couldn't believe that people could be this evil. Like hours. And once I got
and I told you to grow a spine.
No, that's not what happened. But then, you dust yourself off and you just keep working and you keep moving forward to take these corrupt people down. And that's what you guys are funding.
Everything Revolution, $2. In my opinion, you're confounding Tulsi's strategy with motives. I don't know what you mean there. You'll have to expand on that in the next comment.
Well, I think they're probably saying that she's strategizing, like maybe saying like she's strategically going on Breitbart and like rubbing elbows with these right wingers, or being strategic by commenting and defending Biden. Like maybe that's part of her strategy versus her actual convictions.
So let me ask you a question, Everything Revolution. We just spent 2 hours talking about how Elizabeth Warren has no conviction.
That's such a double standard.
How Elizabeth Warren doesn't have the courage of her convictions and plays a political game, right? So we should go after Elizabeth Warren for that, but for Tulsi Gabbard, that's just strategy?
Bingo.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I do not care what the motivation is or if it's strategy. I am not, personally, for me, I am not giving Breitbart.com the credibility to go on there. I am not having off-the-record conversations with Wall Street while during my interview with Tulsi Gabbard earlier this year, she said some really strong, good things about Wall Street running amok.
Yeah.
So I'm not confounding anything. I'm being consistent. I'm not calling out Elizabeth Warren for X, where she doesn't have the courage of her convictions, or she's playing a political game. But on the other end, if Tulsi does it, well, we're conflating. No. And sorry, I think that if, I have no problem if you're a Tulsi supporter. Again, I don't hate Tulsi Gabbard. I don't think it's all or nothing. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I personally like Tulsi Gabbard over Elizabeth Warren, for me. But I think people have a little blinders on and are making allowances and excuses for her that they do not for other candidates. And that's just not objective. I'm sorry. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it. Ask us questions, guys, and send us stickers. I love the stickers.
Yes.
Much.
We really need some system to automatically keep track. Let me tell you something, Michael
they make
Cooper.
It hard on
It is
YouTube.
hard
It's
to keep
really
track
hard.
of all the super chats, especially when I might be reading an article or playing a clip, so I might not visually see on the screen the super chat. So I'm trying my best.
Yeah, we really apologize.
Trying my best.
Someone wrote Kim Iverson's name. Kim Iverson is literal hot garbage.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So, let's see. We need Biden to lose in Iowa badly. 4th place, Robert James, from your lips to God's ear. I actually think that Biden's campaign has essentially been lowering expectations because they're kind of expecting him to lose. I think he might end up in 3rd or 4th place. To me, I'm calling it now. I think Bernie Sanders wins Iowa very, very narrowly. Maybe by a point or two. I'm not saying that as a Bernie bro, I think personally, and this doesn't get, I don't like to support YouTube, so I don't like Super Chat.
We have
Perfect.
a PayPal too.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are PayPal fans.
Holy schmoly.
Yes.
Gene Shahid.
Gene.
Coming in with the elbow off the top rope.
Love it.
$200.
Amazing.
From Gene Shahid.
Thank
Excuse
you.
me.
Yeah, we're
we
so
are
sorry
now
about our bad pronunciation.
83,352. That would be 1,600. Is that right? $1,648 away.
I have an actual math phobia, so.
Oh, wait a
that's
minute. No,
great.
is that right? Yeah, $1,648 away. Thank you so much, Gene. We really appreciate it. This
Love
is not
you
your
guys.
first rodeo. You have donated so
Yeah.
many times, and we really, really appreciate it, Gene. Thank you,
You
thank
guys
you,
are
thank
amazing.
you. Yes, Jen was just saying I have a YouTube phobia, and I don't want to leave Super Chat.
No, I have a math phobia. I don't have.
No. Somebody here said. Sorry,
Oh,
Jen was
sorry.
somebody said that they don't want to support YouTube,
Oh,
meaning Super Chat.
yeah.
So, by the way, by watching us, by
PayPal.me/Dusty.
watching us, you're technically supporting YouTube. I'm not knocking you, but YouTube gets most of the monetization.
Victor, 100% not baseless. She's a racist. She's a racism denier. She's absolutely a grifter. Shady as F. That's all I'll say.
So we don't want it to come across like we're going after people for no reason. So we should say
I can't cite it because she deleted all of her racist tweets.
we should say what Jen's describing, and I called her out for this on Twitter, talking about Kim Iverson. She wrote tweets that were very much like racism isn't a real problem in America. It's not the real issue. I don't remember what she was saying was the real issue, and that rubbed me the wrong way. No, I'm not black, so I'm not talking as a black person, but as somebody, and you've been with me, has gone to Flint. Most of the communities I go to are predominantly black, brown, indigenous. I don't go to Beverly Hills to report, which I don't even know if they'd allow me there.
Beverly Hills.
So when somebody is tweeting things like, "Oh, racism isn't the biggest problem in America," I think you are very, very ignorant. And I think you are very, very privileged if you write those things. So I called her out for that. And, if people don't like it, so be it.
Victor, racists are garbage, yeah.
Yeah. So I always donate to
Please don't
status.
ask any questions about Nico, someone said. Get me started on Nico.
Do you get 100% of your membership payment, or does service take a cut? Great question. So membership is how we grow. Part of the reason we want people to sign up as members rather than patrons, besides the fact that we don't want to rely on Patreon, which is the third-party platform and could go away in a year, for all we know, Patreon takes a bigger cut, correct, than our membership processor?
Asians can be racist, dude. I did not hear your question.
Patreon takes a bigger percentage cut than our website
Yes, so
processor.
because Patreon takes a cut and then the payment processor takes a cut. So when it goes through our membership, only the payment processor takes a cut. So we get most from membership, for sure.
And also, to be clear, this is a nice, intimate crowd now. And by the way, you could tell YouTube is suppressing
Because
us.
you scared everyone away with our truth.
Usually, look,
Yeah.
we have 353 people watching, 467 likes. Usually when you have more likes, usually you have more viewers than likes. Right now we have more likes than viewers, which tells me even the normal chain of things, just became a member through their website. J Live, much love to you. We are now at, let's take a look.
No, I think he was directing people to do that. I don't know.
You got me excited, J Live.
Yeah, so someone joined so Jordan can be excited still.
Yes.
Someone said something I wanted to respond to. Oh, Bernie being Jesus. It's true. He was a Jewish carpenter, just like Jesus.
Are they saying that we're saying Bernie is Jesus?
No, someone said Bernie is Jesus, and I agree.
Oh, okay. Kim didn't exactly say that.
No, she did.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you saw, but the tweet she put, she was putting literally in writing that racism isn't the biggest issue in America, or is not a major issue in America, which I don't even know how you do that. But somebody said donate at the Status Quo website. So after the GoFundMe, we should tell you now, obviously we're not starting a new whole-scale GoFundMe, but GoFundMe has been helpful, and we don't see reason to stop people who want to donate on a monthly basis. So we will have a way that you could donate on a recurring basis through our website through, what is it, PayPal?
Yeah, we'll probably do it through PayPal. We might set up a Stripe option as well.
Yeah. Jordan, do you know about Line 5 that runs through the Mackinac Straits in Michigan? I do know about that.
Of course he
I
does.
wish I could cover everything at once, but you'll see once we publish this story, you might now think like, damn, Jordan, I don't like, you've been not live for several days and I want you to cover X, Y, and Z. I think when you see how much goes into the story Jen and I are working on, honestly, it's a marvel that we're getting it done as quickly as we can, because it's not just writing the story. There's so much additional reporting needed, and so much you got to verify these things. So it's taken up a lot of our time. Like we said, we're not just like commentators. We're doing investigative reporting full time. So it's hard to do both.
Charity, I could not disagree more.
Charity, all I'll say about this, you like whatever channel you want, but when somebody without evidence and calls me a confirmed sexual predator, when somebody without, basically literally Charity, making it up out of thin air that I said Palestinians aren't people, when somebody with literally is making up facts that I said, I'll show you how to get laid at Standing Rock. Like, would somebody, by the way, this isn't, if you want to go around and ask other YouTube people about this person makes up things for a living. So when somebody goes around making claims about other people that are extremely damaging, extremely libelous, has no evidence, claims that other, quote, blue check progressives have come to him citing me being inappropriate, when somebody just casually says those things, no, they're not somebody you should respect. You could watch that person, but I don't go around making claims that could ruin a person's career if I have no evidence for it. Other people are, and that's a major problem. And by the way, I've had multiple people in the last 3 days encouraging me to sue that gentleman. I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because that's what he wants. He wants attention.
Jordan's Moses.
And he would do 25 videos over that, because that's what he wants. He wants to. It's not just me. He goes after other channels with nonsense, all because those channels have the temerity to say anything bad about the Empress, Tulsi Gabbard. So you could like whoever you want, but if somebody is saying on air, just casually, oh, Jordan's a confirmed predator, Jordan's this, Jordan's that. I've never talked to this person, Nico, by the way, about Palestinians in my life. I've never talked to this person about Standing Rock in my life. He said that I have stolen stories from him. He literally called me while I was at the Young Turks. I was working at the Young Turks, telling me that he has evidence that there were Hillary Clinton moles inside Bernie Sanders' campaign. I said, that's a really awesome story. Like, I'm not going to take it from you, but can you show me like what the evidence is? Because I'd certainly want to credit you and look into more of it myself and get it out there. And he didn't have any evidence. This is the only thing during the 2016 campaign he and I ever spoke about. When he claims I stole his story of, what did he say? The Hillary
Victory Fund?
The first time I saw a story about the Hillary Victory Fund was on Politico, actually. I don't even know what he's talking about. The first time I saw a story about the Hillary Victory Fund, which was that scam where Hillary Clinton, money was supposed to be going, sent into the DNC to go to local state parties, but it was really mostly going to Hillary Clinton's. I read it by Ken Vogel in Politico, who's
He's good. I like him.
Somewhat decent. And then Cenk did a story on it, I think a few days later. He claims I stole the story from him and gave it to Cenk. I've never seen him have the story. I read it on Politico. And I was a little busy going all over the frickin' country covering the campaign and Flint and Standing Rock to focus on Nico House's journalism. So I don't know Nico House. He's also lied about me in the past, claiming that he had worked for my former nonprofit, Truth Against the Machine, that Jen worked with me at. I brought him on in the beginning. He had said to me, as a reporter, he had said to me, times are rough, I didn't really know the details, but he said that he, economically, like, times were tough. He said he was living in his car, whatever. So I said, okay, like, sorry, no problem if you can't do anything right now. I actually offered to give him money because he said times are tough. And that was that. He told me, I'll get back to you, like, if I could do stuff when things get better. He reached out to me months later, said, like, I'm back on my feet. I want to do stuff. I said, great. Then he didn't do any videos for the project and didn't do anything for the project. So I didn't fire him. I just never reached out to him again because he wasn't doing anything. Then all of a sudden he does a video saying Jordan Chariton fired me while I was living in my car. The guy makes shit up. If you want to follow people, that's fine. But if they're gonna make claims, please ask them for the receipts. I would love to see any of the receipts he's talking about. And by the way, he's gonna do 17 videos after this because that's what he does. It's for clicks. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go work on this story with Jen. We're gonna go cover the campaign. We're gonna go, hopefully, cover Keystone. We're gonna go in the field and cover what matters instead of starting YouTube squabbles about other people. But if you go on air and say I'm a confirmed sexual predator, something that has been debunked, something that Jen herself, she could tell you, I handed Jen my computer.
I'm waiting for my chance
Go
to
ahead.
rant. Michael Cooper earlier said Jen's about to have a heart attack, and that is 100% true. Like,
Who is he talking about?
Nico House is who he's talking about. I don't even know the name of his ridiculous channel, but whatever, just Google Nico House. So, nothing upsets me.
I don't want to. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I want to make something clear. I don't know Nico House. I don't care about Nico House. We have bigger fish to fry than Nico House. The only reason I even address this, I don't care if he makes stuff up about, I said something about Palestinians that I've never said. I dated a Palestinian. I have friends that are Palestinians. I've done videos on Israel committing genocide on the people of Gaza. Go look. I've done it. I don't care about him making claims like that. But when I get emails from viewers, or I see on Twitter that somebody is calling me a confirmed sexual predator, something that, a lie that I have had to literally rebuild my career from the fucking ashes. And Jen has seen me at my lowest because of that. Something I never did and would never do. When I hear someone is saying that, I'm not going to stand for that, and I am going to call them out. You can make up whatever you want about me otherwise. But to make a claim like that, when you have no evidence of that, when any other person, other serious people that have looked at the allegation made against me and realized it was complete bullshit, I have a real problem with someone being that vile. You don't like me? Fine. You want to attack me and the channel? Fine. You want to claim I don't elevate women? Here's the co-founder of my company sitting right next to me. But don't you dare go around saying that I do the most unspeakable things that you could do as a man to a woman when I've never done that and I never would. The floor is you.
Okay, so I don't even really know where to start because I'll start, first of all, addressing part of Nico's video where he said he was giving himself credit for being the only progressive commentator or whatever who elevates women, and he was basically saying no one else elevates women. Well, as Jordan just said, well, Nico completely erased me because I am the co-founder of Status Quo. So that's first of all. Now I'll get into what actually matters, and that is the fact that 2 years ago, and as Jordan said, I don't want to get into absolutely everything that happened, but there was obviously a very fake and very coordinated allegation made against Jordan, and I am a woman. I have been sexually assaulted. And so as soon as I heard this, I went on a very, very deep investigation. Like, obviously, Jordan's my friend. And, but what comes first is making sure that this didn't happen. So I immediately, without Jordan's knowledge, went on an investigation back then. I'm talking 2 years ago. And what I found...
And stole my computer.
Yeah. Like, I went through everything. Emails, social media chats, absolutely everything. And I had access to other things too. Like, I won't get into everything that I did to investigate, but it was very thorough. Because if Jordan had sexually assaulted someone, I would have been the first one shouting from the rooftops that this had happened. I would have made sure that his ass was in jail. Like, I would have destroyed him if this had happened. What I found unequivocally was that it was absolutely not true. And not only was it not true, but it was a coordinated attack on Jordan and on his journalism. Absolutely coordinated between a group of, I don't know how many, about 5 specific people, this coordinated attack. And remember, this is the era where the Weinstein story had just broken.
And by the way, we never released it. We do have the receipts.
We have everything that this coordinated group did. They were trying to bring Jordan down. They literally said that. So that's what they tried to make happen. TYT, being the little scumbags they are, made up some fake reason about money and Jordan misusing funds, which is not true.
Go on. No, like.
Oh, okay. And you know, the news articles came out, and it was just like this media frenzy because of the Weinstein stuff, because that was the height of the Me Too era, and it was to bring his journalism down. And what I saw, like what this did to Jordan, because he would never do that. He's just not that type of person. And as I said, I deeply, deeply investigated. It didn't happen. He did nothing. He did not do that. He would never do that. And it broke him. It still like brings tears to my eyes thinking about Jordan at that time. He was a broken man. He thought, he had spent his life going to Flint, going to Standing Rock, focusing on the people of this country, and was really the only one doing that. And here he'd been easily taken down by this group of scumbags on a completely false accusation. And it was just absolutely devastating. That is why I came out back then. That's why I did my video in full support of him, putting myself as a sexual abuse survivor out there as a woman in an era where women were not supposed to, believe other women, believe women. And then that's the only thing. Like, people went off with no evidence. That's why I came out, because I stand for the truth. Jordan is a great person. He's an even better journalist. It just didn't happen. So the fact that Nico House the other day went on his stupid YouTube channel and smeared Jordan to the high heavens, saying that he's a confirmed sexual assault, confirmed sexual abuser or whatever, saying that Jordan is doesn't think Palestinians are people, saying that Jordan steals stories, saying that he has blue check marked Twitter people coming forward to him, like as if these blue check marks are going to Nico House to talk about Jordan. Like that's a thing that happened. There's like that Reddit subreddit, yeah, that happened. So that's exactly, he's just ridiculous. He makes everything up, and Nico could be sued into oblivion if that route were chosen, because he just made up lies. And I saw earlier, Anat, Jordan's girlfriend, was saying, people don't think about the fact that this deeply affects family and friends. When these lies and smears are out there, and it does.
Can I say something? Because some people said move off this topic. I want to tell you why I'm not moving off the topic. And I'm about to say some things that you guys probably don't know. The reason I'm responding now is because if you let somebody continue to spew this lie, it's not only that it hurts me. I'm not going to name the outlet, but about a year and a half ago, Jen and I had broken a major story in Flint. We found out that the state of Michigan had cheated on the Flint's water testing. We found out, because we knocked on almost 500 doors in the heat of summer, Nico House was not doing that, by the way. We found out, on our own dime, by the way, we went to Flint, on our personal money, that the state of Michigan was going into the residents of Flint's homes. They were running the water, in some cases, for 20 minutes before putting the sample bottles in to test for lead and copper, which is illegal. according to the EPA's regulations, you cannot, what they call flushing, that's what it is, run the water. We found out that they did that in dozens of homes, and that is the data, that cooked up data, that they used to declare Flint's water safe. We were about to publish this with a major outlet. I won't say who, but a major outlet. They killed the story the day before, citing they were not aware of the accusation against me. I said to the outlet, the accusation is false. I sent them a lot of evidence, but I said, if it would make you feel better, take my name off the story. Jen worked on it, equal amount to me, and have Jen be the only author on the story. They declined. If that story would have gone up in this outlet a year and a half ago, the people of Flint would have got their truth out there. We self-published the story, okay? It went somewhat viral, but it didn't have the effect that it would because we self-published it and on Medium rather than it being at a major outlet. So the fucking lies that people like Nico House doing, it's not just me it hurts. It's not just my family it hurts. It's not just Jen, who literally went through my entire computer history, including with the individual who made that accusation against me, and realized, holy shit, there's 6 or 7 people here, literally for weeks, trying to bring you down. It hurts the people in communities that we cover. I'm not fucking God. I'm not Moses. I'm not better than anyone else. But at least I have chosen in my life to make the effort to go to communities that no one else is going. Flint was hurt because a lie was spread about me that's not true. And it was very difficult to get that story out there, and we ultimately had to self-publish it. You don't know that because I never exposed it.
Right.
Wait, you're not aware that even somewhat recently, I had a group say to me, we became aware of an accusation 2 years ago that didn't want to do an interview with me. A group that I respect thoroughly. Luckily, that does not happen a lot, but it happened recently, and it's just unbelievable that in this age of information, a lie travels so quickly on the internet. And by the way, I'm not saying that I didn't make some poor choices back then. I did, and I've addressed the poor choices that I made. But I did not do what was accused of me. I would not. I was raised, you know her, by a very, very lovely, and a very, very overbearing Jewish woman.
Love.
And I would not be on earth right now if I did the thing that was accused of me. So for people who say, you do not know, starting a new media company is hard enough. There's a lot of obstacles, including YouTube suppression. But you don't know the extra obstacles that Jen and I have had to get the truth out based on a lie that was put out there about me in the beginning of the Me Too movement. And by the way, I am very, very pro Me Too. I think in some cases, there's been a herd mentality where people are declared guilty based on tweets rather than people waiting for the facts. But overall, I think some really, really horrible men have been brought to justice. The Harvey Weinsteins of the world, the Mark Halperins of the world. Mm-hmm. It's not all or nothing. There has been some great things about Me Too. I think Me Too, even though he's still on the Supreme Court, had a major, major impact as far as Christine Blasey Ford and all those things. I am certainly not perfect. I've certainly had to apologize to Jen in the past if I, spoke out of turn or came off condescending in a way I didn't mean to or whatever. But I think you've been on the road with me more than anyone else. Mm-hmm. I'm going to speak for myself. I can't speak for you, but I have never had an issue in my career, physically, with a woman other than that one claim. So when I am working 7 days a week, and Jen is working 7 days a week on stories that no one else is covering, and I have some blithering fucking loser claiming that I am a confirmed, vile, barbaric, immoral person who would do that, yeah, I have a problem with that. And I know certain people that might see this are going to call me after and say, you shouldn't have addressed it. Mm-hmm. You just opened up a can of worms. To hell with that. You're not going to get away anymore. And by the way, I did not do this 2 years ago because there were legal things going on in the background that I launched against the people that were responsible for smearing me. And I chose to move on instead of publicly fighting back. But that's over. And I am not going to sit here and have lies spread about me. And by the way, to those people that spread the lies, I do have the receipts. I never released them. I don't have an interest in releasing them because I have moved forward. But do not test me. Because if you would like it exposed, the coordinated campaign for people that participate in that campaign against me, try me. And the final thing I'll say, and then we are moving off this topic. You know, I've sat on porches with sick mothers in Flint as their kids are sick playing, okay? I've sat in moldy, contaminated, water-stained apartments in East Chicago where the floors are being ripped out from the mold because of lead, okay? I've been in Standing Rock watching Native Americans be shot at while banging on drums, okay? I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk. I lost personal relationships because of my career. I don't see my nephew and niece enough. I don't have a ton of hobbies because of the amount I work. And I don't do it to grow a Twitter following. The only reason I'm trying to grow my Twitter following is so we could pass it off to status quo. Do I have a bit of an ego? Yes, I do. Guilty as charged. So does everyone on the internet. But I got offered a job for $160,000 while I was at TYT, making a lot less than that from a corporate outlet. I turned it down, okay? So for those that want to spear me, for those that want to claim there's blue check people coming to you, for those that want to say I said Palestinians aren't people, which I've never said in my life, for those that want to say I stole stories, for those that claim that I fired them when they were living in their car when I actually offered them money, for those who are such frauds that they pretend to be, oh, I'm against TYT. Hey, Jordan, when I was at TYT, could you pass my resume off to Cenk? I'm not going to stand for it anymore. And if you want to try me, try me. I have bigger fish to fry than Nico House. But the reason that I am responding the way I'm responding is I don't truly think people like Nico House understand what they're saying and the things they're doing. It's not me they are affecting the worst. Yeah, it hurts me. It bothers me. But it's not just me that you're damaging. It's communities like Flint who cannot have the truth published because outlets hear this lie and get spooked. It's the people in other communities that we're trying to get coverage of that get spooked. So if you don't have the evidence for this, you better stop fucking saying it. And that's all I will say. Anything else?
I will say that to the Nico Houses of the world, you are the reason and the fake accuser, and get me in a room alone with that person.
Well, let's not make threats.
I mean, you are harming the people of Flint. The story that Jordan was talking about, they were falsely testing people's homes for lead levels in Flint, in the water. You are literally hurting people, literally causing children to have cognitive declines, causing them to have lifelong health issues. You are literally the reason that you can walk around in downtown Flint and there's no one walking around down there because there aren't any more people. They're all gone. And this story was prevented from getting out, from getting the audience that it deserves because of your lies. And it's disgusting. And what Jordan, during that time, he didn't care mostly about himself. He talked about the people of Flint. He was like, I can't go back to Flint. I need to go back to Flint. I need to report on this. These people need this story out. But he had to take a breather, which was killing him. And so just, if anyone wants to spread lies, you're affecting our journalism, and you got to go through me first.
And that's it. So a pivot, and I'm sure there will be 15 videos now about this and whatever. It's the last thing I'm saying about it.
Come at me, bro.
But I will say, for those people that want to continue pushing untrue, highly libelous, highly slanderous claims about me, I don't care, because certain people are claiming that, oh, white people going after black people. I don't care if you're fucking purple. If you're going to put out a highly damaging false claim about me, realize there will be a consequence. That's not a threat, that's the fact. There will be a consequence going forward. Lastly, dummy thick Jordan. Somebody keeps calling me
Christian. He's into you.
Yeah.
Chris, it's a good thing. It means he thinks you're hot.
Oh, wonderful. So, in the last few minutes, we'll take your questions, comments, and concerns. Quite the pivot.
Let's. So donate to our GoFundMe.
15 videos, because when you repeat things enough times. Yep, exactly. So.
Yeah. So ask us questions. Sophia was also lying. I don't know who this 18-year-old girl is, but she needs to get her facts straight.
Yeah, I love people commenting about me that I've never spoken with this person. It's really
never. Yeah, these
it's
people
interesting.
are insane.
Okay, so Palestinians or any other people who are in trouble, Jordan stood up for. I don't even understand this thing about Palestinians. To be honest with you, I don't cover the Israel-Palestinian issue that much. It's not because I'm anti-Palestinian. It's because if you watch the channel, I don't tend to cover foreign stuff that much. It's not that I don't care. It's because our focus is on America, on communities being forgotten, the Flints, the East Chicagos, the Standing Rocks. We're trying in the future to go cover Keystone in the Great Plains. We definitely want to go to Iowa, New Hampshire. We cover America. I do cover foreign news when there's something major, but it's not my beat, so to speak.
Right, exactly. But that said, you have covered it.
If you want to go watch, I did a video last year. By the way, my father and my older brother are extremely Zionist. They do not like any speak negative about Israel. And I did a video last year saying Israel's committing genocide in Gaza after Israel killed 66 Palestinians, including a journalist and a child. So if I hate Palestinians, then I'm not describing it well, I guess. It's just crazy. Who will win the New Hampshire primary?
This guy.
I feel more confident that Bernie's going to win Iowa. New Hampshire, honestly, I'd be lying if I had a firm answer. I think it's between Warren and Bernie. I think who wins Iowa will have an impact on who wins New Hampshire. However, a lot of times when people win Iowa, they don't win New Hampshire. Obama wins Iowa. He didn't win New Hampshire. Who won in 2016?
Don't remember.
2016. Oh, yeah. Hillary wins Iowa. Bernie wins New Hampshire.
Well, she won because of, she didn't actually win.
Right. She didn't actually win. So, Dove House, $5. What should we do if networks report superdelegate forecasts if they are votes before the convention again? Bandwagon effect is a real thing. It's a good question.
So bad.
As of now, they're not doing that. But I've been saying for weeks. I think there needs to be protests outside CNN, MSNBC, and all this. I'm not talking, I don't want violence. We're not Trump people, and we don't want you to send anything bad anywhere. But don't wait. We have it. Oh my God. I totally buried this topic I wanted to go over.
What?
The Joy Reid video.
Oh my God, he was so excited about Joy Reid.
I lied.
Well, I want to answer this question first. It's very important. NBW Doughboy. Could never imagine a better question than this. Who was better, JFK or Bobby Kennedy? My answer is Bobby, because he had a total come to Jesus. And by the way, they were both obviously murdered by the CIA. And Bobby, he totally converted. He would have transformed this country. It's totally Bobby. Huge Bobby fan.
Well, I think it's a false choice. I think they were both great. I would go with Bobby only because JFK was a little bit more middle of the road as far as economics. you know, there was tax cuts for wealthy people under JFK, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, why they killed JFK? They killed him. Mm-hmm. It's because he wanted to talk to Khrushchev. It's because he wanted to end the Cold War before it got out of control.
And look up. So you want to talk, I love conspiracy theories. Like, I love them. I find them fascinating. But if you want to look up Operation Northwoods, that's why JFK was murdered. Look it up.
How many JFK conspiracy documentaries have you watched?
Oh my God, literally all of them. And my bookshelves are filled with Bobby and JFK books.
Correct. So Jordan never lets her speak?
No. So the thing about Jordan is like, he just is a talker. He lets me speak. That's ridiculous.
What do you mean let her speak? I started the live stream.
Like, if I want to, I'm like a person with agency. If I want to speak, I just speak.
Yeah.
And sometimes he like does interrupt me and like, Jordan, you shut up.
Honestly, sometimes when I interrupt, it's actually, sorry if it comes off rude, but I'm saying it because if I don't say it, I will forget my point.
No, yeah, he definitely does that. He like, his brain is like moving 2 steps ahead. So he's like, while you're talking, sometimes he'll be thinking and then he just interrupts.
Well, also I have really bad sleep apnea that's being untreated and my memory is
That's true.
effed up. Mm-hmm. So like when Jen started talking about the previous topic with that barbaric, scummy person, a point came up that I wanted to make, and I just, if I didn't make it then, I thought I would forget it. Anyway.
And Martin Luther King Jr. was killed by the FBI.
Yes. I want to play this clip that I just forgot to play because it goes back to your question about the superdelegates. It's not just the superdelegates that is the problem. It's all of the coverage in the first place. Let's watch this clip, which I have to load, from our friend Joy Reid.
Joy.
Ooh. Do do do. Do do do.
To, and Mayor Pete calls that Medicare for all who want it. Now there's option 2, which is Medicare for all, which is at the center of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's campaigns. Now there's been much hand-wringing over how the country would pay for something like this, which has led Warren to release a detailed plan on just how she would fund universal single-payer health care. So how will this affect your paycheck? Let's take a look. Okay, here's your paycheck. Oh, wow, you're doing really well. Under Medicare for All, this line, let's show this line that shows your insurance premium. Oh, here we go. We have to swipe it. Oh, there we go. Who shows your insurance premium. There it is. That would actually go away. As Rachel Maddow would say, poof. You can't see it here, but your employer's contribution also poof. So maybe your boss will pay that money to you instead as more salary. One can hope. And then this line, swiping again, the one that shows, there it is, that shows your Medicare and Medicaid taxes, that stays the same under Warren's plan. So would your federal income tax, because Warren's plan finds other ways to pay to put everyone on Medicare. So that line also stays the same. That's why you hear her saying that your costs would go down. More health care, more paycheck, and a tax on billionaires to pay for it all, which may be why some people are not a fan.
I've paid over $10 billion in taxes. I paid more than anyone in taxes. But I'm glad to have paid, if I'd had to pay $20 billion, it's fine. But when you say I should pay $100 billion, okay, then I'm starting to do a little math about what I have left over. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Okay, joining me now is Wendell Potter, president of Business for Medicare for All. Okay, so Mr. Potter, yeah, that was my sort of awkward way of trying to explain Medicare for All. But did I get that basically right? That
you did.
Essentially, the line where you're paying for the insurance premiums would go away.
That's correct.
And the company's portion of your insurance premiums would also go away. So in effect, at least under Warren's plan, you'd end up with more money.
You would end up with more money in your paycheck. That's one of the things that's been happening over time. And one of the reasons why people are noticing they're not getting very big raises is that the money that our employers would ordinarily give us in raises, maybe bonuses, is going to insurance companies instead.
Right.
One of the things that people don't realize is insurance companies don't really control health care costs. And they don't really want to, because as health care costs go up, so do premiums.
Right.
That means they get more money from us to convert to profit. So they have an incentive not to control health care costs. The average premium for a family now is $20,000 for a policy that you get through the workplace.
Right.
I was looking just a few weeks ago to what it was.
So why, by the way, a viewer sent me that, so we do read your emails, and thank you. I don't spend my weekend mornings watching Joy read, so for those that do, thanks for sending it to me, but yeah, that's tough. So I don't even know where to start, and I'm kind of surprised because Wendell Potter I actually like. He used to work for Big Pharma and basically has been a whistleblower ever since. He says, like, I was part of the people pushing the propaganda that against Medicare for All. So I'm kind of surprised he went along with this. I did a video last week on Elizabeth Warren's Medicare for All plan. But first of all, I love how Joy Reid makes it seem like Elizabeth Warren is the pioneer of Medicare for All, and her plan, which she just came up with 5 minutes ago, when Bernie Sanders wrote the damn bill. So anyway, we know Joy Reid is deranged about Bernie Sanders. But the thing that stands out to me, I did a week or two ago, you might have missed it because you were working on the story. I put the headline, when they say Bernie's pie in the sky, I'm not a pie in the sky person. I think we have the money to pay for all this already.
Oh, absolutely.
But Elizabeth Warren's plan is actually pie in the sky. Its provisions, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, are, well, we're going to, the money is, we're going to put a $9,500 employer head tax on. So every employee, the company's going to have to pay $9,500. Well, as Matt Bruning pointed out at the People's Policy Project, then employers are just going to bump people down to contract or freelance to avoid having full-time workers, so that they don't have to pay the $9,500 for Elizabeth Warren's Medicare for All plan. There's no rule in her plan. There's no control. We've already seen this where Obamacare, for example, more companies started knocking people from full-time down to 30 hours or 35 hours to avoid them being full-time employees so that they didn't have to pay for their health care. So basically, Elizabeth Warren's plan, who other progressive people for Medicare for All have said, is actually going to depress jobs because employers will just skirt around that head tax by keeping people on freelance, contract, or whatever. That's just one part of it. Then the rest of her assumptions for the money that she's going to pay for it is we're going to pass immigration reform, something that hasn't happened in 30 years. We're going to pass, immigration reform. A defense cut. We're gonna cut the military, even though she's voted for both of Trump's insane military budgets that increase the military budget. So can you imagine if Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan pay-fors, as Nancy Pelosi likes to put it, were just the assumptions that, we'll just pass immigration reform, so money will come from that. Oh, and we'll pass that small thing like cutting the defense budget. It's ridiculous. It is a fantasy budget. I would rather Elizabeth Warren and, frankly, Bernie Sanders come out and say, you know how we're going to pay for it? We're going to cut the military in half. We're going to cut the subsidies to Goldman Sachs, to Pfizer, to Raytheon, and we're going to, instead of printing money for war, we're just going to print the money for this. Because I don't even think we need to pay for Medicare for All through an increase in our taxes. But, like every other civilized country, Elizabeth Warren is trying to make it, she's twisting herself into a pretzel to try and say, I'm not going to raise middle-class taxes. No, what you're going to do with your plan is cut people's jobs because they're going to lose. Companies are going to get creative so that they don't have those employees as full-time workers. And the rest of her plan, which Joy Reid is trying to make it seem like it's the gold plan for Medicare for All, is fantasy. Elizabeth Warren is not God. She's not going to just snap her finger and we're going to have immigration reform. She's also not going to snap her finger. Neither will Bernie Sanders, by the way, and get defense budget cuts. Am I?
Right. No, I agree 100%.
Well, they say I don't let you talk, so is that all you want to say?
Yeah, I know. That is exactly my take too.
It's ridiculous. And Joy Reid, she sets up the segment like, isn't it true that under Elizabeth Warren's plan, their paychecks will go up? So it's a subtle way of trying to make it seem like Bernie Sanders' plan, your costs will go up. Elizabeth Warren's plan could possibly cut your job. because you're forcing employers to pay that. I would prefer, if you ask me, instead of my employer, which could be a small business, having to pay that, I'd rather pay. You already pay out of your paycheck a tax to go to Medicare and Social Security. All Bernie Sanders is talking about in his plan is your tax for Medicare and Social Security, or Medicare, is going to go up. You're going to be taxed more for Medicare in your paycheck or as a citizen. The parts of your paycheck that go towards health care go away. It's just Medicare. And that's it.
Right.
You go to the doctor. No copay, no deductible, no premium, no nada. It's just an increased tax for you. So the terms are what the media is preying on. Tax. Premiums are a tax. Copays are a tax. Deductibles are a tax. I'm sure you have 2 children. You've had hidden bills, even with insurance.
Yeah, and I have really good insurance, like really, really very lucky. And it's absolutely insane even with that. And I do think, on that, the point of Bernie, he needs, I think, and you've said this before, they really need to do a better PR job of explaining how this is going to be paid and how it will actually affect people's daily lives. Because as of right now, yeah, the media can hit him on saying taxes on the middle class are going to rise, and obviously that's all people hear. And so they have an optics problem for sure. They need to do a much better job.
Well, I also credited Bernie because I thought, I think he went on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel actually, recently, and it was the best articulation of the plan that I've heard from him, because he finally said, yeah, your taxes are going to go up a little bit, but the savings you're going to have from the reduction in the cost for healthcare, the savings from that are more than this tax increase. So overall, it's a tax. He didn't use the term tax cut. He should. But overall, you're saving money. He hasn't said it like that. He has said in the past, your taxes will go up, but your healthcare costs will go down, which doesn't immediately register that your overall costs will go down. Now he's explaining it on Jimmy Kimmel, I think it was, where he says, the tax increase you're going to get, I actually think he used a dollar amount. Like, Jimmy, let's say your taxes go up like $7,000, but you already pay $15,000 for your family. That goes away, and you're left with the $7,000. People could understand that. So I think Elizabeth Warren doesn't actually, the I have a plan candidate, her plan is laughable. And this is the media bias, right? If Bernie Sanders put out that junk plan that Elizabeth Warren put out, that is very much based on assumptions. We're going to pass immigration reform. We're going to pass defense budget cuts. He would be just demolished throughout the media. Also, if Bernie Sanders put out a plan that put a head tax on employers, they'd be calling him a freaking communist. And they'd be saying, you see, Bernie, he wants to eliminate businesses because this is going to put small businesses out of work because you're mandating that they pay this $9,500 tax, and it's going to make these businesses just bump full-time people to contract or freelance. But when Elizabeth Warren does it, Joy Reid is practically slobbering all over her. This
I love it.
is the bias. This is the bias.
And I'll just say Matt Brunig's Twitter, he has a Twitter thread about this, and it's so good. So check that out.
Yes. So, with that, back to our 2:45. We'll end in 15 minutes.
Bernie says donate to our GoFundMe.
Bernie says donate, so we are now. Thank you. Theo, $30.
Hey.
Mark, $20. Andreas, $20. We are now $1,582 away. $1,582 away. You know what, Jen? Do you believe in miracles?
I believe in miracles.
I don't know if we have a miracle here.
We have a miracle?
But I do know it is possible. We have raised $1,500 before in 15 minutes as part of this GoFundMe. I think it's possible. We'll see what happens. So keep it coming in the GoFundMe, and let's do some Q&A to end. I will put the GoFundMe link in a couple more times.
It would be so fun if everyone watching donated $5 each, and then...
Yeah, if everybody don't...
I mean...
Wait, let me do the math on that. 388 times 5... We would meet our GoFundMe if every single person watching
incredible
donated $5 right now.
$5. It's just
Wow.
A McDonald's 2 cheeseburger meal, which is my meal of choice.
Yes. So, when can I send this FDR doll so you put it on the desk besides Bernie? I will give you our P.O. box right now, and you could send the FDR doll. Hold on.
As long as you send a Bobby doll, too.
Yes. Here is our P.O. box for you to send the FDR doll.
Oh, it's all Googled up. So it's 439 space, like that's 128 is a different. We'll repaste it.
439, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
and then it's 128 East Broadway.
P.O. Box 439, 128 East Broadway. Am I made of money to you, Jordan? LOL.
No, Ruth, just $5.
$5,
Come on, dude.
Hey, Ruth, by the way, when you see this story that Jen and I are working on, you might say, I don't think I gave enough. That's all I'm going to say.
And if you donate $5, you'll be able to say, I was part of this.
Yes, because we're only able to break this story because of the amount of times we've been able to report on this one story. So they don't have one, Jen. I looked for one.
Thank you for looking.
What, for a Bobby doll?
Yeah, a Bobby doll.
Oh, that's shocking to me that they don't have a Bobby
I
Kennedy doll.
know. What a market opportunity.
Brian Frederick, will Bloomberg take support from Biden? Honestly, I don't think Michael Bloomberg is going to take support from anyone.
Like, no.
Because I don't think I don't think there's a...
Who's the Michael Bloomberg voter?
And by the way, he's already said he's skipping the first 4 primaries. So he's skipping Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. So
so he's just like trying to. It's a
I guess he's
thing.
running for California and Super Tuesday. I don't really get it. Can we get a time frame for that story? You know what? I don't want to be dishonest with you because we are not completely in control. At this moment, the story that we're working on, fingers crossed, we are in the final stages of negotiations with a larger outlet. We're meeting with that larger outlet this week in person, which I think is going to help. They've signed on to it already, but we're going back and forth on the terms. So that larger outlet, I mean, if you're writing it for somebody else, it's up to them when it goes out. But as of now, the desire is for it to go out over the next month or so.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal.
Yes.
For sure.
Sandra, $10 in the super chat.
Thank
Alexandra, $5 in the super chat. Donate now. You just did. Thank you. And, we appreciate super chats. Obviously, GoFundMe.
Yeah, don't forget those fun sticker super chats.
Yes. And for me, some dollars. Thank you.
Thanks, Kobe.
Kobe. Do they have Marilyn doll to go with the JFK
Oh my God.
doll?
So, Henry, I have this book called The Immortals, and it goes into, it's a fictionalized, it's like historical fiction of like the Maryland JFK Bobby triangle, and I'm so excited to read it.
Yes. So keep up the great work. Thank you, Mike, Jan, JC, Nova. I think we should just give up. Tulsi could support, create endless bills. Bernie Bros won't care. I don't know what that means, but okay. Thank you, $5 from Mike. They should really hire him as a strategist or a talking points coach. Hire who?
Yeah, who?
I don't know. Me? No, thank you. No, thank you. Wow.
Yes, thank you, Michael, for posting our PayPal. If you want to donate via PayPal, it's paypal.me/statusquo. Every amount helps. Like, we are not fundraising because we're making tons of money. We're not. We're fundraising literally because these stories need to get out there. We're fundraising for the people. So. And
I mean, on average, every reporting trip we takes, it costs about $2,000 to $3,000 when you're being frugal. Between flights, rent-a-cars, Airbnb, food on the road, it's not cheap. So, that's why most outlets don't do it, because they'd rather make money, and the way to make money is to do it on the cheap, have a show in a studio, throw one bumbling idiot on the left side of your screen, another bumbling idiot on the right, have a makeup, have a doll in the middle, men and women, dolls, and have a food fight, and then bridge to the Viagra commercial. We're doing it a little differently. Yes, we're doing it a little differently. I want to see more Jen.
Thank you, Lily.
Well,
love you guys.
Jen could come up more if we grow. And don't forget, folks, there's 300.
Joanna, I love being called Jenny. My grandpa called me Jenny.
And by the way, folks, don't forget, the main way we are going to grow isn't GoFundMe. The main way we are going to grow.
It will help.
Yes, it helps. But the main way we are going to grow is not GoFundMe. It's not donations. It is a big help. But the main way we are going to grow into a sustainable beast of a media is membership. And the beautiful thing about membership, it caught, for the people that are donating in the super chat right now, $5, $10, all it costs per month to be a member is $5 or $10 a month.
Or $179 annually.
Yes, we do have
which
an
is
annual.
A very fun option.
We do have an annual plan too. If you don't want to pay for a month, saves you a little money, which helps us too, because annual obviously is more funding for us right away.
Yeah.
So definitely consider signing up. Gee, I wonder who Jordan is describing there. Who is I describing?
I don't know.
But I love Henry. He's always
Henry.
there. And Michael Cooper, always.
I know, I love everyone. You guys are regulars, I love you all. And new people, we love.
AOC is killing it for Bernie in Iowa, absolutely.
AOC is posting, I think it's so great what she's doing. She's really good at social media, and she's posting Instagram stories of her and Bernie, and I think that's so effective. And not only is she just on social media, she's literally door knocking in Iowa for Bernie.
And
can you imagine AOC showing up?
But can I tell you something right now?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Elizabeth Warren in 2016 did what AOC is doing now? No, seriously.
Oh, you mean if she were like an actual progressive?
If Elizabeth Warren in 2016 did the right thing, came out for Bernie early, knocked on doors, speeches, this and that, Bernie, honestly, he might not have even have run. And Elizabeth Warren, what might have been the far away front runner if Bernie Sanders did not run, because Bernie Sanders supporters, Elizabeth Warren.
Absolutely.
She was there for Bernie. She's consistent. She's a progressive warrior. She probably would have had a much better chance.
You played yourself, Elizabeth.
She probably would have had a much better chance. Status quo. You need to put the PayPal link in the description
You're
box.
right, Fluffy Bunny.
All right. Where is the PayPal link?
PayPal.me/status quo.
PayPal.me/status quo. Here you go. And we will put it in the description box.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thanks to your wonderful suggestion. Anyway, let's we got a couple more minutes. Let's keep it going. Do we have a miracle waiting in our GoFundMe? Oh, we just got another donation.
Yay.
Thank you. Anat, my wonderful girlfriend, $10. I'll see you in a little bit. Anonymous, $20. Thank you.
And,
Carolyn, $5.
Yay.
Edie, Ide.
So sorry for
the Ides of March. I love her. $5. Theo, $30. We are now.
Love you guys.
Just 1,500 and
your math is
$42.
That's good.
$1,542 away from the promised land. If there is
a
patriotic millionaire or thousandaire.
We accidentally had Joel Osteen on earlier on the TV, so maybe we will have a miracle like via.
If there's somebody watching, tell Bernie to listen to Kyle. Kyle.
If you guys know any rich people, let us know.
Who are progressive and won't get on their nerves. Kyle actually said something that I don't know if he said it first, whatever. Kyle actually said it. Kyle has said to Bernie, you need to start describing this as a tax cut.
Yes.
Medicare for all is a tax cut. And I couldn't agree. Oh, Lawrence got me. 1,543. Lawrence, I want to tell you the truth, Lawrence. I failed math in 11th grade. I had to retake it in summer school. I barely passed it on retaking it. So I'm not the best, but thank you, Lawrence, who, by the way, Lawrence is the perfect example. Lawrence donates the same amount every time, $10.
Yeah.
He's probably donated $10.
So
My guess would be 20 to 30 times at this point.
Yeah.
Those $10 each time that he donates, hopefully it's not breaking his bank or anything, really add up. It's not just the $500 ones.
Yeah.
It's people who donate over and over again in small amounts. So thank you, Lawrence, from the bottom of my heart. You said it right the first time. Long. Keep up the good work, guys.
Eid, then.
Oh,
Right?
Eid. Okay.
Oh, Eid, like Eid. Love it. Beautiful.
Back to Kyle. Why, is Kyle on?
Kyle's great.
And by the way,
Kyle has a great Politicon clip on his channel. You guys should check it out.
And by the way, Kyle, if you ever want, I've offered to come on your show many times. I digress.
Kyle, I don't think does many interviews, but we could have Kyle on our show.
Oh, I've asked him for that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, big screen calculator would be great. And
Yes.
also we need blowers. So send us a calculator, a giant one, and blowers too.
Yes. Michael, kind of hate to bring it up, but what do you think Hillary's going to do? Jump in the race, run as someone's vice president? You think Hillary Clinton's going to be vice president?
Woods.
No.
Hillary.
Honestly, I don't agree with that. I think if Joe Biden collapses, either politically or physically, I don't wish.
God.
I don't wish for physical. Mm-hmm. I think if Joe Biden politically collapses like soon, which there's always a possibility,
Yeah.
I think Hillary might jump in. I really do. This is somebody with a God complex. This is somebody who thinks she was born and her purpose in life was to be president. She obviously, would be the first female president, which I'm for a female president for sure, not her. So I don't think that it's out of the question.
She's too busy killing Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, you think she killed Jeffrey Epstein? We have no evidence of that.
And it's just a joke, Hillary.
Yes. Might they stood to benefit from that?
Hashtag Arkansas.
Yes, Jen is down with the conspiracy.
I love
collaboration, secular talk, status quo collaboration will blow up this channel. Hey, Anzu, let me tell you something, Anzu. I have been saying this for months. I've been saying this. I don't know how you feel. Mm-hmm. I think progressives are doing too much on their own. I would love, and I would personally want status quo to participate. Could you imagine if there was a YouTube type platform for independent progressive channels controlled by us? Sure, I mean, Google runs the world, so there's ways that they could screw with it. But a platform that was created by people in the tech community that are progressive. A platform that I could see viewers paying.
Absolutely.
You know how many people pay whatever Netflix is right now per month for that kind of content? I could see viewers of Jimmy, Kyle, Status Quo, Humanist Report, Jamal Thomas, Lee Camp. Who am I forgetting?
I mean, yeah, you got. I don't know. Michael Brooks people.
Yeah, I got people. I could see people paying like whatever, $12 a month for this buffet of progressive programming. And instead of us all going live, overlapping each other, because a lot of times we're going live, not intentionally, but you can't work your live stream schedule around when other people are going to go.
Right.
So we're basically going live at the same times. We could actually have like a scheduled lineup. We could do collaborations. I think that would be an amazing thing. With that said, I do understand why. I'm not speaking for him. I've never spoken with him about this. But if you're Kyle Kalinske, Humanist, Rational National too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like David.
Yeah,
I do understand from somebody like Kyle's point of view. Well, I got whatever he's got, 700-something thousand.
Oh, yeah, he's
750,000 subscribers or whatever he's got. Jimmy blowing up. I could understand why. Like, well, I've been doing this for a decade, and I'm happy with the way it is now. Like, I totally get that, no problem. I'm just saying, I think YouTube and what they're doing every single day to basically, it's now not even gradual. They're doing it on a monthly basis, making tweaks to their algorithm, new terms of service. Now they have a thing where if you make threats, whatever that means, towards people or groups, you could be kicked off, whatever. YouTube is becoming a slippery slope. Oh, I forgot the gray zone too. Aaron Mate, Ben Norton, Max Blumenthal.
Yeah.
Rain, I'm a web developer. Hit me up, Status Quo, if you really want to start developing. Hey, Rain Martin, we got to start with our website. But if you're a web developer, email us info@statusquo.com because we definitely need to redo our website.
No, not Michael Tracy.
Oh, Michael. But I think that this would be great. It doesn't mean that, miserable liberal and Jimmy Dore,
Steph.
Ron
She's
Placone, Graham Elwood. It doesn't mean that these individual channels can't have their own bonus content.
Oh, of course.
And their own things. But we would all benefit from actually being on a platform where people know that we're there. People see our videos. People get alerts when we're live. Right now, it's just, whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. They can see it? Did you switch the screen?
Somebody just saw.
I know, but
Oh, you're
it's
right.
for them.
Whoa.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa.
A miracle has happened.
Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. We are less
Yes.
than
Oh my gosh.
$1,000.
That's so amazing.
We are less than 1,000 American dollars
American dollars.
away from our GoFundMe goal.
Oh my gosh.
I believe I can
That is
fly.
so.
Woo!
If you guys donate
I gotta tell you.
$1,000 more dollars,
I gotta tell you.
Jordan will stop singing.
I gotta tell you. I give you credit.
I think it is.
I haven't had this kind
Just
of
kidding.
I haven't had this kind of fundraising day in
Oh my god, I got credit.
at least 3-4 months. I've been like, I call you, I'm like, oh, we raised like $6, and today I think we've
This
raised
is
like
so exciting.
I think we've raised like $1,200 to $1,500 so far.
Bernie is so happy.
Yes.
You guys are truly funding really important journalism, like
Yes.
truly, and that's not patting
Wow.
ourselves on the back. It's like, duh. It's just-
Carl Knight, thank you.
Abby, I love Abby.
I think I forgot Abby because like she doesn't have a YouTube. Does she have a
She
YouTube?
does Empire Files.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Abby Martin
also,
too.
Media Roots, like her podcast is great with Robbie.
Yes. And by the way, getting back to the Palestinian issue, that I hate Palestinians. Abby Martin, more than anyone I know, has done amazing work to expose the war crimes and the genocide being perpetrated against the Palestinian people.
Mm-hmm.
So go check out her stuff. I think she has a documentary just out.
Yeah. Fighting. What is
Yeah.
it called? Something about Gaza. Gaza Fights for Freedom.
Yes.
Check that out. I haven't watched it yet, but she's great. Her and her fiance. What's his name?
Mike something.
Yeah, Mike. Gosh, I know it. I'm just.
Wait, Christian, Jordan exercise video for 1,000. Christian, if we get $1,000 before I sign off today, I will do an exercise video like you have never seen before. I will do an exercise video like you have never seen. People are saying, you bring the money. You bring the money. Jen brings the money.
Thanks, guys. I mean, this.
Don
is so
Snow,
exciting.
$5. It's refreshing when other news media acknowledges other good media, but also we need to call out some of the disingenuous media. Well, if you've been watching today, I think
we did a little.
I think we do that. And you know what? What's amazing to me, honestly, and Jen could tell you this, I'm not. Oh, Mike Prisner is her.
Oh,
fiancé.
Mike Prisner. Yeah, yes. So
hasn't he
great.
done his own documentary stuff that's really good?
Yeah, so he's great. He's a former veteran too, and he really speaks out against the military. Like he's great.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that comment, and we're just going to keep going because apparently there's a lot of people with money.
$1,000 more, guys. Let's
No,
do
less than
it.
1,000.
Yeah, less
We
than
got
1,000.
$908 to go.
That's actually incredible.
$908 to go.
Imagine if everyone did that $5 thing.
Not everyone.
Watching.
I mean, if.
Well, yeah. I mean, it could be, but I'm just saying that's doable for a lot of people.
So, what's amazing to me is, and you could attest to this, I'm not really into inter-YouTube drama.
No.
Like, people were telling me to go to Politicon and debate David Pakman or debate like neoliberals. Like, no, I mean, when Kyle does it, it's great. That's cool. I'm more into like trying to put corrupt people in jail.
Right.
Okay? That's who I'd like to debate.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest. I mean, if we could get money out of it, I'd go to Politicon.
Yeah.
I'd go to Politicon, but like, I'm not.
But
like,
that's not your passion.
No, that's
like,
not my passion to debate neoliberal schmucks. I mean, frankly,
I think in the moment you would really get into it. Though.
Frankly, I would destroy Ben Shapiro. I was a little
Ben
embarrassed
Shapiro.
that Cenk lost to him many years ago.
I know.
That was embarrassing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I would destroy him. I would destroy probably David Pakman and others. Not because they're stupid, but because I have a lens that others don't, because I go out into the country and they just talk from their studio. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean they're not smart. It just means that they're in a bit of a bubble, and I'm not.
Yeah, there's a total difference between just reporting in your studio, like looking at other people's content and then like reporting and commentating on that, versus we go in the field, like we investigate and report. It's totally
But,
different.
I'd like to hear your experience because you, I guess in the last year, before that, you grew up in Delaware, you lived in lived in Maryland as an adult, and you didn't go out like to the Flints of the world and some other places
No.
you've gone. So can you kind of talk about like the different lens you get when you do videos or when you do reporting based on meeting these people from these communities, seeing the corruption on the local level?
Right. Yeah. So I will say, I had kind of like a rough childhood upbringing, so I've seen parts of things that I didn't grow up. Part of me grew up privileged, like on one half of my life, and the other half was like very bad. So I saw a lot growing up, but being out in the field and traveling to places like Flint and traveling to Virginia and West Virginia to cover the pipeline fights, reporting in D.C. on the Venezuelan protests at the embassy. I was going to Seattle, Vancouver, like all these places that I've gone. You see people in a different way because the media presents issues, and they're just things like headlines. You just read about them, but actually seeing people in person, like getting them on film, like interviewing a homeless man in Seattle who is working but is homeless, interviewing mothers on the porches of Flint talking about how their child used to know the ABCs but now are lead poisoned and no longer know the ABCs or math or the things they used to. Hearing a grandmother talk about her grand, I can't remember if it's a grandson or granddaughter, but who lost the ability to walk and basically had to crawl to his or her bus to go to school. Hearing seeing a mother and a daughter who lived in their trees on their own property for 30 days because they wanted to drive an oil pipeline through it and destroy the environment, destroy their property, seeing the emotions, seeing what real people are going through. There's just no comparison between that, seeing that stuff in person. And I think like Jordan trailblazed this kind of reporting, this style. That's what the premise of Status Quo is. It is completely different than just sitting in your studio. And that's, the Jimmys and the Kyles of the world are so fantastic. They have their place. They're very much needed. Their voices are important and they do great work. We do something different. It's a different leg of, it is actual journalism, and it's, I don't know, being in field totally changes you as a person, and it's really hard to describe honestly to people who haven't experienced it. But there's nothing else I will ever do with my life. This is it now.
I gotta be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I loved what you just said, but I had a very hard time watching.
Not getting excited when I said you were a trailblazer?
No. I had a very hard time not laughing because you were saying it holding a Bernie Sanders doll.
Oh, sorry. I got excited.
She's like these sick mothers on a porch holding a Bernie Sanders doll.
I'm sorry. That made it much less effective.
No, but you're absolutely right. And I also think that
put and paste it.
I also think what kind of agitates me a lot, and we've seen this throughout the GoFundMe, which again, if you're just tuning in, we are less than $1,000. Less than $1,000 away. If there's a patriot or two watching domestically or internationally, less than 1,000 from meeting our goal. What bothers me a little bit is, you hear these people sometimes saying, Jordan, you ask for money too much, or Jordan, you stop focusing on the money and mentioning it will come. Actually,
that's
no.
Not how things work.
That's not true, and not at all. So, can I put Status Quo Board in my profile if shareholder?
Oh,
sure.
No, you can.
I mean, if they're an investor, why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're an investor, but they're just talking about like donating.
So the thing is, again, to be clear, like, we love Jimmy, we love Kyle. Like, it's not like a competition.
Absolutely.
It's just different areas.
Mm-hmm.
But most of these other channels have a way less lower bar to meet financially because they're not doing the reporting in the field. Again, it doesn't mean that we're better or it's just different. But like pretty much for those kinds of shows, once you build your studio, you get your tech and everything like that, you make, you're set. It's clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
We need to meet this different bar, and
Right.
that's why we've been pushing membership. Again, if you're not a member, sign up, statusquo.com/join. This is how we're going to grow, like long term. This is how we grow.
Yep.
So we have a bigger bar because we got to fund this in the field reporting, which again, all these trips cost, an on average trip can cost us $2,000 to $3,000.
Our last trip for this big story we're working on cost $3,000.
Yes.
So.
And we were only there for a week,
Mm-hmm.
but it cost $3,000 because the flights, the rent-a-car,
And we
the
probably have to go
food,
back.
the Airbnb. We had to purchase documents, like not cheap. Oh boy, $100.
Yes.
Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
Eubank.
Yay! And thank you, Matthew.
$20.
You
Oh my
guys
God.
are so amazing.
Can it?
This is now I can do.
Can it happen? Can it happen? We are now 700 and 700. Oh, I'm so bad.
I have no idea.
That is $788 away. $788
That's
away
incredible.
from meeting our goal.
So good.
Can it happen?
Yes, I think it
If
can.
everybody donates $5 right now, we will smash that goal in half. Why is GoFundMe charging tips now? They always have, and I always
You
give.
can choose not to.
Yeah,
I
you don't have to. You don't have to give a
I
tip.
put 0.
You don't have to give a tip.
Someone had a good. That was a not who asked. Someone said we have good energy together.
Oh, thank
for-
you. Thank
for
you.
the show. That's
Thank
good.
you. And by the way, my girlfriend Anat, who's watching, she does have a lot of great ideas. She told me about the BlackRock idea.
Yeah, and that was so good.
Because we covered a BlackRock protest. Because Jen and I are up to our earballs covering this story.
Earballs.
I mean, working on this one story. So
Don't know what those are.
it's hard to earballs. It's tough to see what else is going on. So Anat has been sending us great events to go cover.
Yeah, and you're gonna cover one soon.
Don Snow, great response. I appreciate your journalism. Thank you. I don't remember what I responded to. Who's going to be the person who put status quo's reach in the goal?
Oh my
I'll tell you.
Oh, that person should get something. I don't know what.
I'll name our new chair after this person because
Jordan just broke.
You might not see, but both the chairs we're on are broken. They have no arms.
No
we broke them.
arms.
Oh, I broke them.
I didn't.
Yeah, I broke them. So we have no arms, and we're sitting on broken chairs. So thank you for the super chats, for the GoFundMe. Keep it going. I respect him plenty, but he likes EW. No one is perfect. Karen, who likes EW? She's saying I like EW?
No. Yeah. So voting for Elizabeth Warren in the general against Trump is not saying you like Elizabeth Warren. It's just saying you're not a crazy person.
Hey, by the way, did you watch the first 2 hours of this show? We've been lacing into Elizabeth Warren. I don't understand what show.
People have.
I don't understand what show
weird takeaways.
people are watching.
No, John. I'm the co-founder of Status Quo, and not as his girlfriend.
Correct. Jordan is a hot tamale. He broke the chair with his dummy thickness.
Oh my God,
take it.
Christian, you
And
are
you know what,
over the
Christian?
top.
I'll tell you, and my girlfriend could attest to this. I was very upset, Christian, when I first saw you call me a thick daddy, because I'm not
I told
down.
you it
I'm
doesn't-
not down with the pop culture. So when you told me that, I thought you were calling me fat, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not like skinny, but I don't think I'm fat. But then my girlfriend told me it's a endearing comment.
Yeah.
So
You gotta get hip with lingo.
yeah, I will. I'll read more. Urban
Jordan's
Dictionary.
like just a Jewish grandpa already.
That's true. What do we got? Oh, can we do it? Okay, still out there. 700.
We're so close.
Oh God, I could feel
it's
it.
so exciting.
I could feel it.
Who's gonna be the one?
Okay. Up to my earballs. Yeah, you know. This is the
Earballs.
point of the program where I don't make much sense.
Jordan has his own language.
So, let's give people a preview. Oh, Gabriel, 100 sec. Keep up the good work, Jordan and Jen. Sending some love from
Is
Sweden.
that Sweden? Yeah, Sweden.
I'll always remember when I was at TYT and I was in Standing Rock.
That's true, Sigmund.
I had a cameraman from Sweden for a couple weeks, and he said to me, "Jordan, I don't understand the police in America. In Sweden, they don't even walk with guns.
Right.
They're there to protect the people. Why are the police shooting people? I don't understand. This is what people from Sweden and other countries
they
don't
think
understand.
it's crazy.
Why are people being massacred in Walmarts in America? Why are the police murdering black people who have cell phones in their hands? Oh, we thought they had a gun. Why are police walking into random black people's homes in Dallas and shooting them dead and pretending that they thought it was their apartment? People around the world.
They think it's insane. It
Right.
does not make sense to them. Phil says, I wonder how to send a little more, but don't know how. Well, we will help you.
You can send a little more. Here's the link. GoFundMe is the link if you want to send a little bit more.
That would be
and
great.
When we're done with the GoFundMe, we will definitely be pushing our PayPal.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
you can send this way too. So
Snork, that's a very specific
Jordan needs a high black chair
suggestion.
with a Serta butt area. Also, his feet should be up at least 7 inches. Jordan sounded
I think
Middle
your feet
Eastern.
are 7 inches off the floor.
I'm not going to get into inches right now. Oh my God, the comments are all turned
Middle
off.
Eastern.
What are you talking about?
Jordan
The comments are all turned off.
sounds. I mean, he's from Long Island.
So let's get into predictions.
Oh, it's your Swedish accent.
Let's get into predictions while we try to just stay on air as long as humanly possible
So that
to
we can
meet
raise
this goal.
more money.
Christine, $27 in the GoFundMe. Anonymous, $4. Anonymous, $10. Lawrence, another $10.
Yes,
Lawrence with the
Christine.
whammy. Got a lot of anonymous
Thank
here.
you.
You know what? I bet you some of these anonymous are like Raytheon workers who are like, yes.
Oh, they're like,
yes, yes. I
They wanna
feel
break
terrible.
free.
I feel terrible about what I do. And
penance.
right, Lawrence. So we're now $731 away. $731 away from the promised land. So,
I think you guys should donate just because it's making Jordan do math and he's excelling. I
oh my
think
God,
today.
my gray hairs are really starting to be very thick. So, predictions.
Mm-hmm.
We are now 2 months away from the Iowa caucus.
Oh God, that's wild.
Bernie's campaign, he's now with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Council Bluffs, 2,400 people. A couple other towns in Iowa, they had a big audience. They are really pushing.
My God, Bernie just
As he
dove
falls.
off of the table.
They are really pushing Bernie as the climate candidate because the climate crisis has really, really, really ravaged Iowa. They're still, the farmers are still suffering because the extreme weather of months ago damaged their crop. So Bernie is pushing himself as the Green New Deal candidate. The corporate media, just for men, Jordan, the corporate media is saying, oh, Warren's got a superior ground game. I don't know. I mean, granted, I haven't been in Iowa yet, but I mean, Bernie has more volunteers than anyone else.
Well, and they also and the media doesn't really cover this, and when they do, they're like, so sometimes when they have these giant all-candidate events where they're in these big stadiums and all of the candidates have their supporters in these stadiums, what Bernie's campaign has been doing is instead of having their Bernie supporters sit in the stadium and like do nothing, they're canvassing instead. They're door knocking. They are doing on the ground outreach that actually makes a difference. And so the media spins that as, oh, where are Bernie's supporters? Well, they're out knocking on people's doors and getting FaceTime with real people in this country. That's what they're doing. It's a very good strategy, I think.
So I personally, and I'm putting money down right now, not real money, but I think Bernie's going to win Iowa by 1 point. I think Bernie's going to win Iowa by 1 point.
That's kind of scary, though.
Over Elizabeth Warren. You skipped my last super chat. Where in Long Island are you from? I'm from Massapequa. Massapequa, which is
great burger place in Massapequa.
the home of All American. Jerry Seinfeld is from Massapequa, and that's about it for Massapequa.
the claim to fame.
Yeah.
Jordan's dog Rusty's from Massapequa.
Half a ball. I wish Anat would get a Warren doll so the dolls could have a debate. In truth, half a ball. I am very ashamed to say this. You don't know this. I'm very ashamed to say this.
You have a Warren doll, do you?
For my girlfriend's birthday, I got her a Warren doll.
Oh my gosh.
But she threw it out. Or I don't know if she threw it out, but she was like, I don't like these little things.
You should have kept it and they could like spar.
Christian, Jordan, let me borrow 700 so I could donate it to Status Quo and we could get that exercise video.
That's not how that works, Christian.
Do you know how I don't even know how much money I've put into this company, so I can't donate anymore, Christian, but I'd happily lend you $7 anytime.
7.
Yes.
Just
Naomi Klein just endorsed Bernie. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's great. Naomi Klein
She's
doesn't,
good.
as far as I know, she said she doesn't really officially endorse anyone.
Yeah, but she did.
So
yeah,
her
she
endorsing
did
Bernie
this time.
is definitely important.
Because she knows the world is burning.
Yeah, and I think Naomi Klein is saying a lot of what we were saying earlier in the show. I mean, people don't have to like it, but like, I don't understand this choice. People, like, forget Trump's racism for a second, which is its own separate horribleness. Forget the corruption. I mean, all right, Trump's corrupt, so is Biden. They're all corrupt, great. But at least, not saying Elizabeth Warren is going to totally save the planet, but we know Donald Trump is destroying the planet.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not that complicated. So, Warren doll is actually Clinton doll in disguise. Well, that's true. Bernie is ahead in New Hampshire. Yes, certain polls are showing it.
Yeah.
But New Hampshire is a little tricky.
It's tricky.
Because New Hampshire, predominantly white, and in New Hampshire, as opposed to other places, in the past, younger voters have not come out as much in New Hampshire. In 2016, there were more younger voters, but New Hampshire, not as much. So Bernie needs that college vote to come out, and that's why he's focused on the universities there.
Joey Buttafuoco is also from Massapequa.
Yes, I remember passing him when I was a kid.
How
he
exciting.
Joey Buttafuoco.
Well, isn't, what's his name from Fox News? Doesn't he live in
Brian
Massapequa?
Kilmeade.
Yeah.
I just saw a comment. I don't trust any of these journalists who don't admit that Tulsi is second best candidate. Tulsi is more unspoken on foreign policy, and she is outspoken on Medicare for all. Everything else is a smear. Hey, love, she's not outspoken on Medicare for all because she's moonwalked away from Medicare for all. So I think you're wrong. She's not outspoken on Medicare for all.
No,
she has gone the other way
it's awful.
on Medicare for all. And I have personally said...
That's my pet issue is Medicare
I
for
have
all.
personally said Tulsi, after Bernie, even though I have issues with Tulsi, is my number 2. Warren is not my number 2. But I'm just talking about...
Warren's actually my number 2, which might be surprising to people.
Warren is not my number 2. However...
But she's terrible.
In who will possibly be the nominee, Warren is definitely more of a possibility to be the nominee than Tulsi Gabbard. There's a lot of reasons for that. Tulsi Gabbard did not get a fair shake. She was blacked out by the media for the most part, and when she's covered by the media, there has been massive amounts of propaganda against her, calling her a Russian spy, an asset, Assad's best friend, which I think is unfair. I disagree with my girlfriend all the time. My girlfriend works in counterintelligence and buys into that. I don't. And
so I think you're talking about the bots.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I
have bots that follow me because I tweet Russiagate is BS.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm a Russian asset.
No, yeah. So the bot thing is, they actually did a study, and I'm not going to get my facts completely right on this, but...
Sorry. Aaron, $100 in GoFundMe.
Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron, $100 in GoFundMe. Rick, $5. Rain, $5.
Thank you, guys.
We are now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So close. Keep it going, guys. What if we finish this today?
We are now $621. $621 away.
That's so incredible.
From 85,000.
Let's get there.
Thank you, Aaron. That's incredibly generous. And Rain and Rick. Make it rain some more.
Make it rain.
$681 to go. Sorry for interrupting you, but
no worries.
Good reason.
Yeah. So they did. Basically, the CIA made it look like there were Russian bots. I'm not saying there are not Russian bots. Of course they are. Like, why wouldn't Russia want to influence our election? Of course they do. So does every developed country. Like, we influence everyone else's elections. Like, it's just a big whatever. But they did a study, like the CIA was pretending to be Russian bots at a certain point. So it's not, we're not innocent. Like, just the fact that Tulsi has supposed Russian bots following her does not mean she's a Russian asset. Like, it's not that hard to start a bot army. Like, honestly, I'm not a tech person, but I could start a bot army and go after someone and smear someone, like whatever. And let's not forget that Hillary Clinton had correct the record. David Brock's, what's it called? There's a word for it.
Troll army.
Turf. You guys know what I'm talking about.
AstroTurf.
AstroTurfing. So, if we're gonna get into a war of like social media bots and social media scams, like David Brock's been completely exposed, Hillary Clinton's been completely exposed. Like, it's all ridiculous.
And by the way, I don't want to ignore, we're really pushing GoFundMe. But we also have some new Status Quo members to talk about.
Do we?
Thank you, new Status Quo member Hazel.
Hazel.
Love Hazel.
Yay.
New Status Quo member Omid. Not Pierre Omidyar, the Intercept billionaire.
Yes.
Just Omid. Thank you, new Status Quo member Edward. We are now at 726.
That's exciting.
Status
too.
Quo members.
Very
and
good.
And the trick here is, we kind of been like in this range for a couple weeks now.
Right.
Partially because we haven't traveled as much. When we did travel, we were not live. We were not even saying where we were. But the membership for that $5 a month, $10 a month, I think once we get to a level, I mean, we're never going to stop trying to grow our membership. That's our core mission.
Yeah.
We can't stop trying to grow membership because that's our core business model. But once we get to a range where we have, 1,200, 1,500 people as members, we're going to be in a lot better position to consistently, because right now we've been able, we go out in the field, then we can't go out for another 2 months, whatever. Once we get these numbers up, then we have money to consistently go out, more than once a month, more consistently.
It'll snowball.
And eventually hire another reporter, which is really our goal, and our long-term goal also.
And a marketing person.
Yes, our goal is to hire a marketing person, because Jen is a super spy. And Jen,
I enjoy researching, digging and finding stuff is very exciting to me.
Yes, I'm nervous about being on the Virginia ballot, about Bernie being on the Virginia ballot. Why? Is there, there's a
I haven't
conspiracy?
heard anything about that.
Well, Virginia's in your backyard. You should look into
Yeah, it is in my
Oh my
backyard.
God. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Gene, Edward,
again.
Jason,
Oh my
Gene,
God. Oh my
this is
God.
so exciting. We're
Gene
so close.
Sheed.
$300.
I think
for the win.
I think she gave
Yeah,
money for-
a bunch.
Oh my God, Bernard Sanders just left $100.
Bernie, thank
I don't
you.
think Bernie Sanders.
Bernie.
I'm gonna. If that's Bernie Sanders, I'm pretty much retiring. If that's Bernie Sanders, I
We'll
retire.
live off of that. For
$50
the rest of our
anonymous.
lives.
$10
Oh my
Edward.
gosh.
Gene, thank you.
I believe in miracles.
$300
I
from
think this
Gene
can work.
and Jason Plummer. $10.
You guys
We
are-
are now.
Who's going to put us over the
We are
top?
now $149.
Oh my gosh.
$149 away.
Legitimately,
I-
this is going to end. We're
I
going to
honestly,
do it.
if I would have thought, I did not think this would happen today. We still got $149. I would have got blowers.
I mean,
I
we
would
would
have
have
got.
had a party.
I would have had a friggin' party. Thank you. If there are a couple more souls,
Well, if we make it today, we could do a party tomorrow.
yeah,
Yes.
for sure. So keep it
Because I'll
coming.
still be here tomorrow.
Keep it coming.
Party time.
Keep it coming.
Oh my gosh, guys.
$149.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
$149.
It's for the journalism. Do it for the journalism.
Wow. You guys are something else. Bernie is commander in thick.
Christian, you are wild.
Maybe we should
dude.
make 30 Status Quo thick shirts.
Oh my gosh, no thank you.
and you wanted to get off early, Jordan. That's true.
True.
That's true. And
NBW
you guys
Doughboy. It's your Bobby enthusiasm that kept us going, Doughboy.
stay on until 6 o'clock. Okay.
I mean, we're
Well,
gonna
if
be
we do
hungry
that, we're gonna.
at some point.
If we do that, we're going to extend it to 90. No, I'm kidding. Wow, you poor guy. I hope you're not too tired tomorrow. No.
This is
you guys,
exhilarating.
You guys are sustaining me.
I didn't sleep at all, but now I am so pumped up.
Yes. So keep it coming if you can. Do it for journalism, guys. I couldn't agree more.
Do it.
And by the way, I want to also I want to make a point as we again have 100 and I don't know.
51,
Whatever that is.
I think.
$151 to go. Important point. I think that what's also remarkable to me about this is we're doing this GoFundMe right in the heart of when all these people, most of these people, are also donating to the political campaigns.
Yeah, right.
They want to
So,
donate to.
Yeah.
So, and also they're supporting, a lot of them support other independent media channels, this and that. So it's not like, this is just they're independently wealthy and have all this money. They're spending money that could be spent elsewhere in their lives, while also donating to Bernie or whomever they're donating to, Tulsi, because they really believe in this.
Yes,
And I think that's
yes.
what feels so special to me about it, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, also, we have, I think it's close to 1,200 that donated to this so far.
It's really special.
And also, it's very helpful to us because I won't go into detail. Nico said Jordan is an undercover Zionist.
And Love Waves, the answer is no. You're being ridiculous.
Who
You
said
asked
that?
an anti-Semitic question earlier.
Okay. But I won't go into detail, but this is very helpful in conversations with
Investors, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very helpful to show.
Because they see the passion behind it, and they see that this is a viable business model.
Right. So, thank you. Oh, God.
Imagine if you were the one who put in the last $151.
$151
That could be you.
to go.
It could be you.
I'm out of topics, but I'm just going to do maybe hand puppets or.
Well, we could talk about.
Well, you know what? I got an idea.
Do you?
For that last 151, let's remind you what it's all about.
Brand new reaction coming in from Rudy Giuliani.
And right now, President Trump's former top advisor on Russia.
More breaking news tonight on Rudy Giuliani. Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani is under criminal investigation.
President Trump is not going to cooperate.
The latest on impeachment. Impeachment investigation. President Trump.
President Trump. President Trump.
President Trump.
President Trump.
President Trump's
Educational issues with the children that have been poisoned. We're at one of the encampments that homeless people are living at.
It's really discouraging to notice these similarities where you have the administration going, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your water, but here, take these filters.
Are you on Social Security?
I am, but I work a full-time business.
I know, but you're aware Social Security is a socialist program.
Well, that's beside the point.
Wonderful promo video.
Oh, so good.
And boy, I mean, honestly, if you turn on the media now, I mean, it's been all Trump, period, for 4 or 5 years. But right now, I'm not saying that Trump doesn't deserve what's coming to him. I'm not saying he is not one of the most corrupt presidents we've ever had. He certainly tried to bribe the president of Ukraine.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's no, like, Russiagate, to me, was mostly nonsense. Ukraine, I mean, there's something there.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, this is the only topic being discussed other than the campaign occasionally now. I turn on CNN, I have to turn it off. It's Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Do you think the people of Michigan give a shit about Ukraine?
Right.
Do you think the people working 3 jobs care about Ukraine? I mean, cover it, but cover other things too, for God's sakes, man. Thank you, Jason, $10 in the GoFundMe. Thank you.
And Kyle.
Kyle, $8 in the GoFundMe. We are now $143.
Oh my gosh.
$143 away from meeting our GoFundMe goal.
Come on, guys, so we can do our party tomorrow.
I think we're going to do it today.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to think we could get that 143
Yeah.
in the next 10 minutes.
I agree.
I'm calling it.
Ask us questions.
And I'm gonna hold my stress ball.
Hold your stress ball for good luck. Squeeze your stress ball. Where did the thing go? There it is.
Right there. So, why is the fact that Putin attacked our election nonsense? Is Putin attacking our election have to do with what I just said about Ukraine?
No. So Terry, you're saying that Putin attacked our election, and I assume you think that that's why Hillary lost. That's not why Hillary lost.
Your thoughts?
I mean, Hillary clearly lost because she didn't campaign with the people. She lost because she was not the most qualified candidate ever. She lost because she's a neoliberal who does not inspire anything in anyone. Hillary lost because she is Hillary. Because she's just, there's nothing inspiring about her. There's nothing that people wanted to vote for. She lost because people didn't vote for her. I mean, there's nothing, it's not because of Russia. Like, it's just ridiculous.
We might get the final 143.
If Bernie's on the camera.
Good juju.
They can't see him.
Oh, no, there's a delay.
Oh, okay.
So, what I have to say about that with Russia and attacking our election, dude, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Get real, okay? I covered more Trump rallies than I would like to share. I have the therapy receipts to prove it, okay? Did Russia create fake Facebook pages? Absolutely. Did Russia try and hack into voting systems? I've never seen evidence of that, but even if they did, okay? I am telling you, Russia was not even on the top 10 list of reasons that people in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio voted for this idiot. Okay? They didn't need WikiLeaks emails to inform them about NAFTA or the TPP. That is why she lost. And some of it unfair. Bill Clinton passed NAFTA and TPP. It wasn't her. But she supports those policies. And I was at these rallies. Trump had them at NAFTA. I'm going to repeal NAFTA. I'm going to bring the jobs back. I'm going after Goldman Sachs. Oh, this isn't a very Republican thing to say. Universal health care, I'm going to cover everybody. Okay? This is why he won. It is the privileged, Aaron Maté says this well, Russiagate is a privilege protection exercise.
That is really a good take.
It is a privileged viewpoint to be like, oh no, if only Putin and Russia weren't involved, she would have won. There's no quantifiable data or way to know. It was, if not for Putin, people in Michigan would have voted for Hillary.
And by the way, how stupid do people have to be? Literally, what's that book about Hillary's? Oh, Shattered. If you read Shattered, Robbie Mook and John Podesta literally planned Russiagate. Like they were. That was gonna be their reason. Why? It's been reported.
Two new Status Quo members.
Yes,
also,
fantastic.
Thank you,
guys.
Status Quo member Jazz Jeet. New Status Quo member Rain.
Yes, Rain. You're making
it
rain.
We're now
I'm sure Rain has never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. We're now at 728 Status Quo members, and oh my god, we're just 100. 100.
Deborah. Oh my god.
Oh
my god, I didn't even look at the top number.
G.
O. You guys are so great.
G.
Yay!
O. M. G.
Yay!
O.
We're gonna start juggling.
G. 85.
Oh my god.
And 3. I didn't even know you could go past the goal.
Yeah, you can.
$85,003. Deborah Handler, $50.
Deborah, you put us over.
Anonymous, $5. Daniel, $5. Jazit, $15.
Oh
Carl
my
Knight,
gosh.
$20.
Joe Biden.
$51.
Thanks,
Oh,
Joe.
wait, no, now we could be attacked as taking money from the billionaire class.
That's why they did it.
Jason Plummer, $10. Honestly, guys, I'm so upset because I truly it didn't even cross my mind today that we'd get here. If I thought we were going to get here, I would have had crazy graphs,
streamers,
crazy shit to celebrate.
But we're going to have a party tomorrow. So
we'll have a party tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I need to say something for the masses.
You switched it back to us?
And we'll do a workout video too. You're going to get a workout video tomorrow. I need to tell you something.
Christian.
We talked earlier about the obstacles status quo has had. We've talked earlier about the obstacles I've personally had. When I started meeting with people in New York about a year and a half ago and telling them my idea, I didn't have a name yet, just an idea for a media network, and Jen and I were talking about this. When I was meeting with people in New York that I know that work in media, and I was telling them this idea, they were saying to me, oh, that's nice, but like, that's not gonna...
Right, how cute.
That's not gonna make any money. Like, people won't pay for that. Like, people you might think that there's a huge audience for this, but people want conflict, and people want drama, and people want sensational, and people want the Kardashians, and people want, basically infotainment.
Yeah.
And I knew, and I think you knew, that there is a huge demand out there for independent, real, in the field journalism. Well, what can I say?
It's right. You guys are funding the media revolution. I mean, it's you.
Now, we're going to have our victory party today and tomorrow. We're certainly not done. I mean, GoFundMe is done. Thank God. And thank you, 1,000, I'll get the final number later, but 1,000, I think it's close to 1,200 donors. And we did this pretty much in 9 months. I mean, we started it September of 2018. We had a 3-month timeout thanks to YouTube and the criminals there, where we couldn't go live. So basically, we raised $85,000 in 9 months.
Simply incredible. Really shows the power of this.
And I want to thank not just the big givers. Obviously, the big givers, technically, to get it done, were very, very important. And I thank you.
But as I say, many hands make light work.
Right.
All those smaller.
But all the smaller donors is why we continue to do this. And also, I want to thank Jen and Ty, who was here during that, and Colin, and Marcus, and Joseph, because a lot of the reason we did this is because a lot of people worked on Sundays. I mean, I think we kind of now, because I've been doing the live stream, I guess, for over a year on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not so easy to work on Sunday, she's got 2 kids. Why am I talking for you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have 2 kids. Usually I'm in Maryland still, so I do the live chats usually, and Jordan spends a lot of time on Saturdays and early Sunday mornings preparing and getting stories ready and spending a lot of time streaming. I mean, they are long. It takes up a lot of time, but it's this dedication. It's you guys.
Wow.
Who,
apparently
wow,
it's not even
still
stopping.
going, and CNN and MSNBC have now donated.
Oh my God!
I feel like we're being framed.
We are being co-opted. Michael, $10. CNN and MSNBC, $20.
I mean, if Putin wants to drop in another 10,000,
yeah, Dick Cheney is going to donate next.
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of Sundays that I'm tired. There's Jen. I mean, she's not on camera most of the time, but she's in the super chat, and she's cutting clips for me some of the times, and doing the emails to tell you when we're live and stuff like that. So this has been a lot of people helping us out with this, and I'm not going to stop. We're not ending Sunday live streams. We'll be focusing, obviously, super chats and growing our membership, which is critical. We need to get this number up.
We want to hit 1,000 by the end of the year.
Want to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, so we got some work to do.
Yep.
But at least for now, we're done with the GoFundMe. And
so exciting.
But apparently, I mean, if
Daily
you want to keep going,
Hillary Clinton, if you want to drop some cash, that's fine.
Yeah. Obviously, these are fake people.
Yeah,
so as we end, we'll be back tomorrow for the live stream. We have some Breitbart call. They are donating too.
Breitbart.
Yes, we need some noisemakers. Honestly, we didn't expect to meet the goal.
No,
today, so
I mean, it did not even cross my mind.
We'll have them tomorrow.
So excited. Yeah, we have to go to Target. We'll get noisemakers.
Yes. So thank you. We had a ball today and met our goal. I'm going to go have a beverage to celebrate.
Woohoo!
And we will see you tomorrow. And like we said, we have a major story that, God willing, will be out very, very soon.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Love you guys.
Peace out.